Jackson stopped the wars, but no one hears the cry. He's screaming in the void under a bloodshot sky. Tommy and Snaps throwing fits by the moonlight. Tantrums every night like it's their birthright. Frank's got magic, pulling cards from the air. Jibs on smiles, man, he's sweeter than a prayer. Steven's throne built on whispers and deceit. King of lies, his empire's bittersweet. Since heartbeats only for Jack. Simping hard, there's no turning back. Laundry's lost, spinning in his own haze. Paul's got sermons for the end of days. Paul's got sermons for the end of days. Paul's got secrets locked behind his screen. Password buried in a dream unseen. Dusty's floating, drifting with the breeze. Cage flaunts his out like it's meant to please. Jack's brows stealing the whole damn show. Watching high, they're the stars, you know. Paul rants on about the slaves he'll judge, but the crowd's moved on, they don't hold a grudge. Tracks these heartbeats only for Jack. Simping hard, there's no turning back. Laundry's lost, spinning in his own haze. Paul's got sermons for the end of days. Paul's got sermons for the end of days. Whisper soft, you'll never know me. Laundry's reflection cries, set me free. Dusty drifts on, doesn't need to choose. And Cage just laughs, what do I have to lose? Hey, whisper soft, you'll never know me. Laundry's reflection cries, set me free. Dusty drifts on, doesn't need to choose. And Cage just laughs, what do I have to lose? Tracks these heartbeats only for Jack. Simping hard, there's no turning back. Laundry's lost, spinning in his own haze. Paul's got sermons for the end of days. Paul's got sermons for the end of days.
Wow, well, that was empowering.
Hey, welcome to everybody. Jack Talcott and Gen X Jeff were outliers in exile with Gen X Jeff, collaborating again together. Much love to everybody.
Hey, Jack.
So today, what we've kind of discussed, the topic of self-empowerment, that's something that's important to both of us. For those who aren't familiar, Gen X Jeff and today I want to highlight a little bit more and hear more about you, Jeff, because truly, I think we've got something amazing here. For those who are tuning in, just so you're aware, when I invite people to invite others, encourage you to invite others, because after we talk a little bit, you might have a better idea of what is available, and we'll be dropping the link a little bit later and inviting people to join us. And actually, should we put the call out? Maybe later.
I mean, I guess you can do it now, and they can. Well, the idea is we're gonna excuse me, we're gonna talk for a while, and then we'll take callers. So if you have a question, an issue, a problem related to self-empowerment, if there's something in your life you're stuck and you're trying to do something but you can't figure out how to do it, come and join us, and Jack and I will figure out if we can be helpful and how.
Absolutely. And I will personally invite the viewers. For those of you who are familiar with the Panelverse and some of the creators here, I think we can actually help some of them too. So if you got any ideas, maybe reach out and invite others. But let me start sitting back and Jeff, regarding self-empowerment, right? How did you find yourself onto this path of mental health and where you're at today? Please.
The mental health, I found myself through some personal traumas in my life. I witnessed the death of my fiance in the ICU, and that messed me up really bad. I was never the same since. So part of it was like having to rebuild an entire life on my own. So finding the power to do that. And I still to this day don't know how I did it. I drew on something that I don't know how, because not a lot of it was conscious. And then I came up here to Seattle, and that was like one trauma after another because it's so different culturally up here. So it was just constant culture friction, clashes. But I think the self-empowerment part comes from just hanging around a bunch of whiny people and me looking at them and saying, You can do this, you can do this, you can do, why are you so like victim mentality?" I think I'm just very sensitive to victim mentality. And so it was like noticing all these ways that people were giving their power away and ways they could easily take it back, and trying to understand why people did not want to take ownership of their power and agency and use that to solve the problems in their life. So that's kind of what led me into the self-empowerment part.
That's beautiful. Because you were seeing things that others weren't, or
I think so, because I've like growing up, I've always been very independent. I've been the type of person, if I can take control of a situation or figure out a way to solve it, I would rather do that than depend on somebody else to fix it for me. So I guess just instinctively throughout my life, I've always found ways. I'm a creative problem solver, so I'm constantly like finding solutions to things. And anytime I'm stuck with the problem, it's like, okay, what part of this do I have control or power over so that I can like I know I can at least affect this part of it. And what else can I do with it? So I just have that type of mindset. And so being around people that don't think that way, I think it was odd to me to see people like victims of other people or victims of society or victims of the man or this or that. And I'm like, what do you want to do? And how is that stopping you from doing it? Like, let's sit down together. I can find many ways that you could probably accomplish what you try to do that doesn't depend on Nancy Pelosi and what she's doing with her stocks and that kind of stuff.
good for you. So you brought kind of a realist perspective to people when they have problems. That's what it sounds like to me.
It's really the internal locus of control. It's owning your own power. It's the hero's journey, and it's keeping the control of the situation inside of yourself and your own agency instead of being at the mercy of external circumstances or other people. And like, who would not want that kind of power? It's kind of what we all try for in some way, but you'd be surprised the resistance that people have to actually taking responsibility and exercising their own agency.
We are truly our own worst enemies. And what you were saying, Jeff, is here we're getting an echo when I'm speaking.
Oh,
I'm not sure what's
it
going on.
might be me. Let me mute.
I lost my train of thought. My bad. Please. I lost where we were, Jeff.
Oh, and I lost my sound. Hang on. Oh no, it's back. There you are.
All right. Good. No echo we're getting. All right. Yes, it actually it's coming through great. I lost what you were saying, Jeff.
I was just kind of giving you a little background and what led me to self-empowerment specifically. And I consider myself a self-empowerment coach. So if people come to me, it's specifically to look for ways to get more personal power in their life and stop giving it away to other people and things, and like taking your own power back.
That's something I had to learn for myself. See, I didn't recognize it, but I played the victim for quite a bit. Kind of what you were saying. I didn't see what was there for me. And so I understand that darkness and that that helplessness feeling.
Yeah. I hate that feeling. I think that's the root of it. I absolutely hate feeling like a victim. I hate psychologically. It's so uncomfortable to me to feel powerless and like a victim.
This is something I was considering that seems appropriate. Negative thinking is a rejection of blessings.
I think I don't know if that's the exact relationship, but I think being aware of your blessings can help counter or mitigate the negative thinking. It gives more of a balance and a range so that you're not so fixated on just one part of the experience. Because life is light and dark, like for all of us, and we have light and dark in us. And so if we just fixate on all joy and happiness all the time, or all the darkness and negative all the time, we lose that balance and that full range.
That's the absolute truth. We lose sight of the bigger picture. And it's
Yeah.
easy to do with if we just focus repeatedly on the same old things.
But then trauma can do that, right? Can fix us on experiences or memories of experiences. And unless we know how to integrate that and move past and create some kind of bigger picture around it, sometimes we do just stay stuck or fixated. And again, that's like an empowerment thing, because it takes a certain amount of self-empowerment to be able to do that. No one else can do it for you.
That's the tough thing to accept. No one else can solve my problems for me. I've got to be a part of solving the problem. And
Yes. Once you take charge and own it as your responsibility, the whole world change, like that, your whole mindset and changes. You start noticing opportunities you didn't see before. You start thinking differently about yourself than you did before. You have different motivations and energies now than you did before.
what Jeff is talking about, I've experienced. And so, sincerely, something I've noticed about Jeff is he does have a gift, a skill he's developed, or a gift he's been gifted with. But you have a way of communicating with people with those problems. So, folks, if you're tuned in and present and you're willing, later on when we open this up, we're not playing. I mean, this is serious. I believe there's, between the two of us, there's experience and knowledge that can be very helpful. So regarding what you're offering, the self-authorship, and you used another term that escaped me regarding the inner state.
Locus of control.
Locus of control. Beautiful. Thank you. Regarding those things and helping people recognize their authority, their ownership, and their greater options. You clearly don't shame people. I haven't once seen you doing that, right?
I try to all the time.
Do you?
I can be very judgmental and critical.
Sure.
I think I might trigger shame, but I didn't grow up in a shame culture. I grew up Catholic, so we're more of a guilt culture. So I'm more likely to make somebody feel guilty than to shame them. But I don't even try to do that, really.
All right. Maybe yeah. I just saw your approach is more gentle than being the rude and blunt jerk I can be. I offend a lot of people.
But you can be?
Oh yeah, I offend a lot of people with my approach.
I do too. Don't sell me short. Yeah, but that is a good thing to talk about, though, because when you're in this line of work and you're alienating people that could potentially like benefit from your services or support, that's kind of you're like, what do you do?
Counterproductive. It's counterproductive and it's not helpful for those who could benefit, right? If I'm not able to connect with or communicate with someone, that's on me. I get that. I've got a big part.
Partially on you, because communication is a two-way, like it's a dialectic.
Thank you. It's a relationship. It
But there
requires.
are
Go
oh
ahead.
no, go ahead.
Well, it was a thought that for communication to be effective, it requires somewhat of a relationship of the present. And relationship is the quality of love. That's the highest quality of love. So through love, we can communicate. That's the goal.
So or right, so like the more you can increase your love for someone or that connection, the more the communication. It may have an effect on the communication, but then also the better you can communicate, the faster you can get to that deeper love because you can understand each other and relate better. So the relationship between communication and love, I think, would be interesting. And we saw communication featured during this recent panel contest where we paired people up to collaborate on creative projects, and they more or less went off well, but the problems that people did encounter almost all revolved around communication. And if the communication had been there, the collaboration and the connection would have been more successful, I guess.
That's sorry. What am I?
Although the worst communicators did win, so
They yeah, that's anyway. Hey, self-empowerment. Tips for actually to know self-empowerment, there's a reflection of what's lacking, right? So low self-esteem, perhaps, guilt and shame. Would you say that keeps our power away?
I'm interested in shame because I mostly encounter it in the effects it has on other people, like when other people are experiencing it. So I kind of learn it from the outside. But I think for a lot of people, there is a power in victimhood. Like they
Yes.
know how to use victimhood for their advantage and to get their needs met. So for them, it is a kind of power, and it feels not like self-empowered, but like giving up power to move out of victimhood. It feels disempowering.
I view it as it's a method of manipulation because I've done it and I've witnessed it, playing the victim. It's a form of manipulation in a codependent relationship because you can't have a victim without someone to blame.
Perpetrator.
Yep. And this is the greater world I see. We've got a world that's got a lot of opinions, judgment, blame. And understanding is what everyone needs, right? Greater.
That's where I think like we can help, and the YouTube and the Panelverse and any place that gives people a chance to have authentic conversations and communication, like practice that communication, because that's where the understanding is going to happen. It's not going to happen at the vibe level. It's not going to happen at the body level. You can't think your way into it. It takes actual communication, face-to-face exchange.
That is how we practice. And I suggest that we learn about ourselves through each other.
We do.
Right?
Like this whole place is just a giant funhouse mirror because we all see parts of ourselves in each other. We get to interact with parts of ourselves that we might not otherwise like know is there or have a way to interact with, and we all do it for each other and with each other. So it's kind of an us thing. It's not a me against you thing or us against them thing. We're kind of all in here together doing more or less the same thing. So it's an opportunity to maximize that and learn from it.
Yes. But it's a fine balance. There was a thought I was considering earlier where regarding self-empowerment too, the path through life, each of us has to learn our inner strength, our independence. And I think that's why we face betrayal and hardships, you know, so we've got things to overcome and to learn from. But at the same time, we have to learn our strength and our independence, which is how we become empowered. We also have to learn our connection and our influence in the world around us. But I think a lot of people have been conditioned to find their power from the world around them, what they can achieve or own or whatever.
Like an external sense of empowerment.
Yep.
Because I don't have any of that. And I feel very much empowered right now, like without all of that stuff, because it comes from inside of me. I don't need all of that for my power.
Okay, along those lines, because you've been on a path, have you ever been in those, well, you experienced just pain. And I can imagine some helplessness. But so you've been on this path of healing and you're growing in your empowerment and you are strong. So how do you consider about this thought?
Let's see. Confidence and certainty are found from learning how to learn from pain. Well, yeah, sure. Well, I don't know if you ever have certainty because we're so, like, humans are so in flux all the time. But confidence is built through repeated experience, and you begin to trust the pattern you're building up, the skill set, your capacity, etc. So I think I'm constantly reviewing my past, sometimes intentionally, sometimes spontaneously. It just comes up. And so I have very much confidence. Maybe that's part of where my own empowerment comes from. I know who I am. I know myself. I know what I've been through. I know what I've had to face, what I've had to draw on inside of me. I know a lot of it's been tested. And so that gives you a confidence if it's tested enough. And that's another point about growing and empowering and discovering your individual power and everything. That a lot of that comes through adversity and challenge. And so if you don't face adversity and challenge, if you try to protect yourself from that or avoid it, or that's one of the ways that you grow is through that kind of stuff. And it goes back to the hero's journey.
Jeff, that is so well said. And that was what I experienced. I didn't realize how attached I'd gotten to my comfort zone. And I also didn't realize how comfortable I'd become in my routines until everything changed. And then I was like,
what broke you out of it?
I lost my family, my career, my job, everything.
Like all around the same time?
All in the
That
same
disintegration.
year. Yep. It was this dark night of the soul for me, right? That's what it was. I went through a transformation.
Well, you must have found some kind of empowerment in there to get through it.
I went down. I surrendered. I gave up. And I was like, whoa. I stopped fighting and I'm still here. I'm still okay. And then I started retraining my nervous system to relax more and more. And I still, the angry cot, the angry Jack, it doesn't show up as often anymore. And it sure doesn't stick around.
Yeah, I've noticed that. So your empowerment was kind of letting go, like learning to release and flow, which that's the part that's so hard for me. That's kind of at the edge of my own empowerment. Maybe that's the next step.
Well, this is where I'd like, from your words, the certainty I'm talking about in this, it's certainty in knowing you, who you are. Because if you know who you are, you've got some idea, you know, a relative amount of certainty of your strengths, your weaknesses. And through knowing your strengths and weaknesses, you can confidently move forward with your life, right?
In my mind, I can. but when I try to, I still run into walls and clashes and conflicts. So it's not, it's, I haven't mastered everything yet. There's still growth.
That's why we're here, is to grow. And so,
Yeah.
but what you just said, Jeff, that reminds me of what we're offering freely for those who are willing to join us later. The value of having an outside perception, right? Like you offer to others, helping to see maybe some connections or helping them find the connections, right? Um, we need each other. We learn about ourselves from each other. And I tell you what, learning how to communicate with each other, that's going to change the world.
I think you're right. If it could happen, if people could improve their communication, it probably would change the world.
It all starts within, right? That story we tell ourselves. We can either empower ourselves or we can destroy ourselves.
That is one of the keys, because a lot of self-empowerment is story-based. The one area you do have a lot of control of is the stories that you tell yourself in your head about yourself, about other people. And when you can take control of your mental attitude and deliberately choose, I'm going to go in with this specific attitude because it's going to give me the best chance of doing what I want to accomplish. That's empowerment. You can control it, and it can make all of the difference. The mental attitude you approach something with, which you have control of. You can choose your mental attitude. That's a little tiny way that you can self-empower in it with huge, huge results.
Read the story. The
The
story
story
we
and the attitude, like both of those are both like cognitive events, and you have a lot of control of your thinking, your awareness, your imagination. That's where you can influence your own self.
I said this before, this quote I heard originally from Wayne Dyer, but it helped me transform my life. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And so I started looking at myself a little differently. I started looking at the rest of the world around me a little differently. And guess what? My mindset totally transformed and my heart opened up, and I'm not such an angry bitch anymore. Believe it or not, I'm really not.
And maybe when you have this other mindset, you can quickly switch back into,
Yes.
now that you have practice being in it.
Yep. Um, let's see. Along the lines of what you were saying, this is something I thought kind of helpful. Are your thoughts serving your freedom or your fear? How that might be a way I would approach. Say someone comes to you and they say, "Look, this is the problem I'm facing," and they're feeling the helplessness, and maybe we'll see this, but um, what is your approach to helping people find the authority to the authority and maybe direction for rewriting themselves?
As far as fear, the thing, because I'm not very fear-based, that's pretty foreign of an emotion. Which, if you're self-empowered, fear is going to feel foreign to you, probably. But I see an awful lot of people addicted to fear. Fear for society, fear for the future, fear for themselves, their lives. And every time I try to help dispel the fear, they like, no, but no, but also this, their imaginations want to keep those ghost stories going. And so how do you empower somebody that's like stuck in a doom spiral or a fear loop? I would try to understand why they're so attached to the fear. Like, what is the fear doing for them? Because I think they're empowering through fear. And
You
so
know what?
giving them some alternative to empower through.
You just reminded me of something I witnessed another coach doing. Asking the question, how attached are you? to that belief or that outcome, right? Because if you're attached to the worldview you've got, then you're attached. There's no letting go of it, right? But if you're willing to change your views, right? I don't know. What are you feeling, Jeff? We haven't been going long. Do you want to break off?
I'm feeling in my head mode right now, and I'm one of my I'm trying to get out of my head and like be more connected to people. So maybe something that would get us something emotionally charged or like get into the body.
Being
With the
present.
panel dance.
I don't have a lot of clips or stuff. Admittedly, I got that song and the
Oh, by
shout
the way,
out.
Trexty, man.
Yes. What did you think?
I love how the Panelverse is having fun with itself. And speaking of, there's a roast tonight at Landry's, and I'll be doing probably a pre-stream before that. So we're gonna have a lot of fun having fun with each other tonight.
What time does that start?
I think it's gonna be at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. It's gonna be late.
Beautiful. Okay, but you may do something earlier. And for those who are tuned in over with me, the link to Jeff is in the description. So yeah, make sure you catch the later upcoming stuff as well. Are you feeling like dropping the link yet? Or should we
You want
continue
to? I
the
mean,
conversations?
you feel complete, like we've
Well, there
laid
was
down the topic enough for people to come up? And the idea is if you come up, it's specifically going to be related to something either in your own life around self-empowerment, or maybe you have questions for us about self-empowerment. Trexty, wow, hey.
And hey, blessings to you, Trexty. The opening song credit goes there, and the contributions. And is it weird? I'm slightly emotional to see Jeff on here. I am okay with being weird, as you know. A respectful, interesting, compassionate guest. Yes, more please. Jeff, thank you. And Trexty, sincerely, thank you.
Well, hopefully there will be more. So I think
yes, that is the goal.
This is an ongoing collaboration.
It is. Life is continuing. There was one more idea that struck me earlier, and I would like to kind of unpack this a little bit.
Mental health is emotional well-being, and that reflects spiritual alignment. Well, there's this thing I do on stream sometimes called the PIMS check-in, which you might be familiar with: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. And you give a little like, what's going on in my body, how do I feel emotionally, what's going on with mentally, and then you do a spiritual check-in. And I always struggle with that part because I wasn't sure exactly what the spiritual part was, but I kind of just use it as a placeholder for this wholeness. Like when your mental, your emotional, your physical is all in alignment, you get this synergy that's like a gestalt of more than just those individual things. And so for me, that's kind of the spiritual. And the spiritual has the ability to influence the mental, emotional, and physical, but also the physical, mental, emotional, when they're all working in harmony, can help generate the spiritual. So I think there's a relationship between all four of these things.
That was my thoughts as well. I started thinking.
Go ahead.
No, please.
I was going to say, to sum up self-empowerment, I think of that Ralph Waldo Emerson essay, Self-Reliance, which many of you maybe have read in high school. And there's a line in it, or maybe it's in one of his journal drafts, that says, reliance is a poor way of speaking. Speak not of reliance, but rather of that which works and is. And that's kind of what self-empowerment is for me. It's the things that have worked and are. They're just a part of me. They are, and they work. And that's the ground of my self-empowerment. So it doesn't even have to be anything mystical or mysterious. Anybody can do it. It's just you being yourself, who you are, and the things that work for you. Self-reliance.
That requires honesty and awareness, right?
At least with yourself.
If
Brutal,
we're
brutal, brutal self-honesty.
That is the key to mental health. It really is. But with compassion and brutal honesty, how about this? Humbling honesty, right? Willing to be a fool, willing to say, holy cows, I was foolish, I was wrong. I overlooked a lot of things. Holy cows, there's so many blessings. There's so many reasons for me to be excited. Holy cows, right? My time in darkness, that was enough for me. I'm done with that. I'm ready to live. It's a mind game, man.
Yeah, it's a mind game with yourself. And if I'm going to fight myself, I'm going to damn sure win. Like, there's no,
Hey,
I am not losing to my own self.
holy cows. We have a challenge apparently offered.
Oh, panel waste. That sounds perfect. I can't think
Mm-hmm.
of a chatter that can use more empowerment.
Isn't that the truth? Um,
We'll start at the bottom and work up.
yeah, drop the link. You're both regulars trumping up a get together, he says.
Oh, wait,
But
is that is that Tommy?
yes, that's who
Oh, I didn't know. Sorry.
panel waste management
Now I
is,
get it. It makes sense.
known as Illumitami.
Tommy's actually, to me, a very self-empowered person. He's kind of self-sufficient, independent, does his own thing. It's hard to throw him off his own path when he's locked into something.
True, he's stubborn.
That's another way to put it, I guess. Neurodivergent would be a third.
I have experienced unforgiveness, and the unforgiveness comes across as pretty bitter. And bitterness is not a sign or symptom of emotional well-being or spiritual alignment, mental health specifically, right? That toxic thinking. How about this? Mental health. How would you describe, or what would be signs of mental health versus not healthy? What would you
You're
suggest?
able to do the things that you want to do. You're able to pursue your happiness. You have healthy relationships. You have a healthy community. You're able to envision your goals and actualize them. And for me, I used to call myself mental health peer counselor. I worked in mental health, but I realized that I really work more in like personal growth and
Okay.
self-development, because once you get mentally healthy, that's not the end of it. There's still places to go from there. That's just the getting you to the point where you can build and do some post-traumatic growth. And so I kind of take over from the point where people are more or less mentally healthy, but they're looking to do the next thing in their life.
Oh, I love that.
Like we're doing here, like in the Panover, like it's happening all over lately. People are tapping into their creativity,
Mm-hmm.
their channels are improving, their network, their connections are improving. People are trying to go beyond the Panoverse and reach larger audiences. All of that is very inspiring and self-empowering to me, an indication of self-empowerment. So I think it's already happening here, and it's happening from people tapping into their strengths.
Yes, finding their inner strengths, finding their talents, right? And for me, the mental health is what you were saying. It's a functionality, and the functionality in your healthy relationships and your I like to think goal-driven life, right? Desires driving us, healthy desires, but um mental health for me is mental clarity.
Yeah.
The ability to focus, to without distraction, to be with whatever I'm thinking without getting all worked up. And then through that, the practice of meditation, right? Allowing the dust to settle. I feel that emotional well-being, my nervous system relaxes, right?
The
And then,
waterfall.
yeah. And then from there, Jeff, it's what you're talking about. What's the next step? Right? What's the next step in my path of growth and development?
Yeah.
Here, yes, I'm going to Arpo, blessings to you. Thank you for
Oh, hey,
that.
our poll. Yeah, thank you.
And great conversation.
And the thing that has made the most, if I could give one little takeaway or tip or tool, the thing that made the most difference in mental health versus not mental health for me is mental attitude, the way you think, the how you orient your thinking. And if you just pivot or reorient your thinking just a little bit, everything else can be downstream from that.
I want to swing back
Yay,
to that
Andy, thank you.
and the question. Andy, blessings to you, the contribution. Jeremiah Johnson or Ten Commandments with Charlton Heston. You must choose one.
Is that for you or me?
Let's go with you.
Well, I'll be on. I don't even know who Jeremiah Johnson is, and Charleston Heston was a pretty hot daddy, so I'm gonna have to choose Charlton.
I don't know Jeremiah Johnson either, so by default,
Was he
I'm
a
going with
bullfrog?
10 Commandments with Charlton Heston. Andy, hey, blessings to you. Thank
I'm
you.
gonna look him up right now.
If this
Oh,
I
well, hang on though. I might change my vote. Oh, you'll recognize him, Jack. Can I share my screen?
please do.
He's very familiar. He shows up in gifts and memes all the time.
Okay.
That's a tough one. It's tougher than I realized. I'll still go with I don't know. Ask me at the end of the show.
All right.
Maybe I get a night with each one and then I'll pick.
Holy cows. Hey, so regarding mental health and what I don't know if I caught what you were saying, but the idea of addressing the negative thoughts, the toxic thoughts, the limiting thoughts, the ones that say you're not good enough or they're not whatever, right? The diminishing thoughts. To me, that's a symptom of unhealth because it causes our emotions unrest.
And I still face those. But there are times throughout the week or month periodically where I will dip into those thoughts. I think I know how to shorten them and I know how to come out of them faster. That's what I've learned. Those are actual skills you can learn in practice to minimize the time you spend in the darkness. And not to internalize it. When I'm in that state, it seems very real. You start to take all that seriously. But the minute I go into it, I can recognize it and I can tell myself, okay, you're going to the dark place. Don't internalize it. Don't take it seriously. Let the thoughts come, write it out. But they don't mean anything because you're going to come out of it. And it's going to look different when you come out of it. So it's kind of like the Willy Wonka tunnel. And you just prepare yourself to ride through it. But you don't make more meaning of it than it is. And you don't internalize those negative thoughts and feed them and give into them. You just ride through the tunnel because you know there's another side.
I love
And again,
that.
that's from that experience of having done it enough that you have the confidence that you know the pattern, you know what to expect.
That is wisdom for sure. This question here from Alexandria. So if a person has mental health problems, then what? How do we get help? Keep taking meds that don't work?
If the meds are not working, talk to your provider. And like I would not, I don't take meds myself, but I would not take meds that didn't work. In fact, I've taken meds in the past before and many of them did not work. And I would go back to the doctor and say, this one's not doing anything. And he'd switch me to something else. So if they're not working, communicate with your provider As far as like actual mental health problems, depression, bipolar, schizophrenia, that kind of stuff. Sometimes that does take the care of a professional. So reach out. You could start with your primary doctor if you have it. There's usually local resources in your areas, especially if you live near a city. Um, I had one more thing to say about it. I forgot what it was, but definitely reach out. Look at your resources. Contact me. Anybody can email me through my website. At the top corner, it says contact me, or come to my channel. I can maybe help you find resources. I used to do that for a living, hooking up people with resources and helping them find what they need. So I don't mind doing that. But really,
That's
it depends on the specific problem as to where to go and what to do for it. And there's also, I've always said, and maybe Jack, this is something you and I can maybe do. There should be a little mental health 101, just basic. They should teach it in schools. What good mental health care looks like, how to find a competent mental health therapist, how to know when you found a good therapist, what good therapy looks like, just a little introduction to the world of professional mental health. So people go in empowered consumers, and they know what to expect, they know what they're looking for, they know when they're getting it and when they're not. Because a lot of people get lost in the mental health system and they kind of just trust and throw themselves at the mercy of the providers, and it may not be what they actually need. So again, that's some empowerment that you as a consumer can take into the mental health system.
um,
Oh, okay. What was?
here. There's
Oh, yeah. Well, sometimes it does take more than just self-talk and cognitive tools and techniques. But I think even those can help. I've worked in inpatient mental health facilities, and I've helped patients with very severe psychosis, schizophrenia, etc. They can still improve moment to moment individual symptoms with these tools. So they still have value, but sometimes it takes higher levels of care than just a peer counselor or a life coach can provide, because we're just support. So sometimes if it's an actual crisis or an actual condition, you're going to need more professional help than just something like Jack and I would do.
I would
And the other
certainly.
thing, real quick, another key ingredient for good mental health, and it's one thing I'm trying to help with, is having a healthy, supportive community. The role of community in positive mental health versus isolation and not having a support network or community can make all the difference. In fact, I don't even know how I would keep my mental health up if I did not have access to support or a community.
My everything you said, Jeff. Yes. And my suggestion is don't lose hope. I mean, that's part of the self-empowerment thing that Jeff is saying is don't lose
Y-
hope. There's answers
You,
for you,
yes.
right?
People come through it all the time, and the darkness, the crisis,
Yes.
it as dark as it seems, you can make it through to the other end. And many of us have, and we can help you. And there is definitely hope out there. Do not despair.
Here, let me jump in with just a couple of things because I want to swing back to Alexandria too. I am grateful, sincerely. I want to drop the link here pretty soon, right after this too, Jeff, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, you should do that.
Because I saw Modern Men Lost again in the chat. I saw Powder Dusty. I saw Panel Waste Management. We've got a lot of folks
They
here,
need mental health.
right? We recognize
Dusty, yeah,
there's a
Dusty,
lot
you
of
should come
mental
up.
health problems. Yeah, we can help. We can help. Actually, he also mentioned somewhere in there that meditation. Dusty brought up meditation. Do you practice or do
No,
much
no
with
way.
that
I don't have
idea?
the I can't sit still long enough or quiet my mind long enough. I do active meditation, hiking,
Okay.
reading, listening to music, stream this kind of stuff. Like things that it puts my brain in a slightly altered state that's not the ordinary state. So I get the benefits of that altered state of consciousness, but it's not from sitting and being still and breathing.
Um, for Alex, for sure, or Alexandria, for sure. I'm going to drop the link, and maybe between Jeff and I, we can help overcome.
We'll try, or we'll let you know where we can't.
Yeah. See what is available. I dropped it on my side. I may not have got
Oh,
it
yeah,
over
I should put it on
yours.
mine. Hang on, let me grab it.
Would you mind, please? Yeah, because you can pin it over there. For those who do wish to join, we're going to limit. It's not going to be an open panel, but one
Be
at a
little more
time
intimate.
can join us. And for those who are open, you know, maybe even if folks have maybe even testimonies of what they found helpful in their path of discovering self-empowerment, right? Because that's something I never really considered. I thought I was doing good, but I had a lot of blind spots.
How do you think you're doing now?
I'm conscious. I'm very aware of many of my weaknesses, and I'm growing more comfortable and more certain in some of my strengths. So I feel good. We have a couple of guests already, well known by both of us, I believe. Hank was here first, and then we've also got Illumitami in the back. Any
Okay.
preference?
It's
Let's.
Black Friday. Bring up Hank. Sorry.
I love it. I love it. Welcome, Hank. How are you, brother?
Thank you for having me, Jack and Jeff. So
Welcome, Hank.
this takes me back to, I guess, my days going to PA Career Link, trying to get, I guess, mental health and career advice. But this time is different. I'm armed with all the data showing that most of my problems are social and derived from other people's perceptions and them trying to punish me for not existing in the form they want me to exist in. So, do you have any ideas how I can avoid those people? Because generally, the longer I'm in the same place, they'll eventually pull the rug out from under me unless I have systems in place to avoid them, such as in the panels, I could just leave the Discord server, leave the panel, just not talk to them, or talk to them from my own platform. But in the megacorp, it's much harder to move.
I didn't completely catch all the question, but it sounds like you're hanging out with people that have the potential to pull the rug out of you at any second.
Well, everyone has potential, and if I stay in the same place long enough, I promise that they will. They always do, and it's usually due to my
I can
immutable
relate to that.
characteristics.
Why do you think they always do?
It's just my immutable characteristics offend them, and I don't. I guess the only way I think that I can avoid is just being more powerful than them, so they can't do anything to me. So that's all I could think of.
I actually struggle with the same thing, and my solution so far has just kind of been to do my own thing and surround myself with my own people that I know are less likely to pull the rug out from under me. But then that also keeps me on my own channel, and when I try to branch out to other parts of YouTube, I run into the same thing that you do. And
Yeah.
I know that I can't control other people, and I can't control social groups and group dynamics. And if I find myself on the outside of them all the time, sometimes that's an indication it's not the right group.
Yeah. So I conclude that there's probably no right groups. So I just assume all relationship will eventually degenerate. So I try to be mobile and flexible. But at least I have all the data to show that it's due to, I guess, tribal reactions to my immutable characteristics rather than it's in my own head, and I just need to think happier thoughts.
So what's your
But also,
solution?
you are really good at I think it's your communication that helps keep you in these groups, because when there are issues or when you sense that you're going to have the rug pulled out, or when the rug actually gets pulled out, you go around and you start communicating about it and kind of trying to resolve it. So I think you have a lot of empowerment through your ability to communicate already.
Yes.
That's keeping you in groups way longer than it would be without that.
Yes, and in fact, I start long before that they start trying to drag the rug. So by the time they make the pull, I'm already off, or I have been off, and didn't even see that I left. So
You try to like stay a step or two ahead.
yes.
That's also empowering. I think you're doing good, Jack. You have some thoughts on his empowerment profile?
There was a question I was wondering, and I lost sight of it. But one thing I found is we are on our own individual paths, and it's tough to find community, like-minded people when you're on your own path, right? But what I've been seeking, and it's tying to the ideas of self-empowerment, emotional well-being, being present, harmonizing, paying attention to where you do harmonize, where you do fit in, because it's so easy for us to get stumbled and hung up on maybe small disruptions, small disagreements. The Panelverse is a unique atmosphere. There's no denying that, right? It's something special. Oh, a question regarding, do you have clarity on what it is you hope to find?
Yes, I do have clarity of what I hope to find.
Is it realistic? Could it be available in different ways than what you want?
Is it realistic? Well, for me, probably not. And I don't think it's realistic for me. It's realistic for other people because they don't have as much of a hill to climb. So technically yes, but actually no.
Do you think part of it's the autism?
The thing is, I don't take the diagnosis seriously anymore, and I haven't for a long time because we're technically both classified as autistic, but we're so far diverging from each other. Other than that classification, we don't even soar in the same group.
Right. Yeah. It's very diverse. It's a very diverse umbrella. But I think as far as the impression that you make, it's like socially, we don't make the same impression that normies make on people, and they have a kind of a way of coordinating and reading each other and syncing up. So that can leave us on the outside a lot of times. Just that alone can be the barrier.
I actually appreciate what Hank is saying. The diagnosis, it's like what's it called? The astrology sign. It may have indicators of our personalities, and it may give us different strengths and weaknesses, but we live in a world of labels, and labels aren't identities. They don't limit things. And I know there's a lot of people, myself included, where I had this false identity of me based on what I picked up. Some of that, it can work both ways. You tell a child how brilliant they are, and guess what they do? They study and they grow, right? They become more brilliant. You tell a kid he's stupid, he's worthless, guess what he becomes?
They told me I was stupid, and I didn't believe them.
Good for you. See,
you knew you were.
That's why we are here. Maybe even including the other folks patiently waiting in the back, and those who did try to click the link and dropped out. We're here because we are strong. We're here because we have something to do and something to offer in this world, and it's unique.
And with the autism thing, I wasn't using it as a diagnosis or label. I was using it more as descriptive, because Hank does come across a very particular way that's different, and that's what it's tied to. And I'm saying this because I have the same thing. Like, and people that come across weird, whatever it is, if it's autism, mental health, personality, whatever, if they come across weird, they're gonna have more of an uphill climb than people that can harmonize more easily together.
Here, I'd like to rotate through, if that's all right. Not to be short.
I was about to step off anyways. I'm going to step out, and maybe I'll come back later after everyone gets a chance to talk to both of you.
Thank you.
I'm glad you came up. It's good.
I am too. What a great friend and guest, you know? I'm going to bring up the less patient one, and
No, you
welcome back.
fucking moron. I
Please
actually
welcome,
added
Tommy.
something. I could have told Hank a thing, but you find your power in taking people that have all known each other for 3 years and stacking us in a row like eggs and saying who gets to talk to who.
he
And then
might
you
be
back out of helping DJM's channel because you're a coward and you're a loser and you're wrong. Fuck
he
you.
might be listening.
Did you take him off or did he drop?
He dropped. He just
Oh, so
wanted
he didn't
to-
have an actual self-empowerment question.
I guess he
Okay,
wanted to.
maybe. Yeah,
I don't know.
I guess maybe that's his way of trying to self-empower.
I test people's patience sometimes, and it's not even on purpose. It's just the way it works out.
Yeah.
But we have a more patient guest and one who can be much more polite. Welcome back, Stephen. How are you today?
This is a troll.
Thank you, Jack.
I'm on candid camera.
I'm
Let's
not a
hope-
troll.
hope for the
I'm a
best.
very
No, I mean
polite
this whole
and
situation.
helpful guest. And hello to Jeff.
Well, how are you looking to empower more than you already feel
I've
like you are?
empowered people quite a bit, Jeff.
No, you
I had you on
self-empowerment.
my show, and
Please,
sorry.
Jeff,
We're talking about self-empowerment. So are there ways that you are looking to get? Are you looking to go from king to emperor? How can we help you with that?
Yes, I am, Jeff. Yes, I am. I'm very agreeable. I'd like to become an emperor. I loved what you said, Jeff. I'm going to pay you a compliment. I love what you said about Hank. You said that he's weird, but you didn't use it in a derogatory way. You said he can come across that way. But I view autistic people as snowflakes. They're very different, but snowflakes are beautiful. They're not all the same. Everyone is different. And there's nothing wrong with them being different.
But that's quite beautiful and kind of empowering.
Yes.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
And I consider you a pretty unique snowflake yourself.
Well,
in
I'm
many
blushing.
ways.
Thank you. I'm not gay, but thank you for the compliment.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't. I never thought you were.
Okay.
I defended you.
Okay. But you did make me blush with that, saying that I'm very unique.
Well, see, that's kind of empowering. We empowered
I
you.
feel some color in my cheeks. I'm blushing.
Yeah.
This is wonderful. We're getting along today. This is a new
suspiciously
start.
so.
It's a new day. It's a new day.
Well, it actually can be, and it always is a new day if we allow it to be a new day. That's something I realized. There's something about self-ownership, right? Self-ownership, you give yourself permission. You allow yourself to do what you want.
Yes, that is important, to give yourself permission. Also to give yourself permission, as they said that Hank was stupid and he didn't believe them. He gave himself permission to go against what they were saying. They were trying to program Hank, I guess, when he was younger, with negativity and self-doubt. And Hank said no. He was strong enough. He gave himself permission to disagree with
he
the
knew
authority
himself,
figures.
too.
Yes, and he
It's
gave
that
himself
confidence.
permission. Yeah, he said, you guys are wrong, you false authorities, and I'm not stupid. And that's important for everyone.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It is. Sorry, my mind went somewhere else.
Oh, no, that's fine. This might be a good time for a little intermission, and you and Steven can keep chatting, and I'll come right back.
All right,
I
please.
need to take a
Please.
little.
All right.
Feel free.
All right,
What-
I'll be right back.
Here, what came to my mind was this thought I had earlier. You don't need to know everything to help someone out or try something new for you. The only requirement really is willingness. Willingness to help someone out, willingness to try something for yourself. Now, the amount you know as you're trying to help someone or trying to do something new for yourself, the amount you know is helpful, right? It's important to be aware of what you're doing and what you're wanting to accomplish, but we talk ourselves out of doing a lot of good sometimes. And I really think people underestimating themselves it's a problem in our world. What are your thoughts on that, Stephen?
I agree. And it also goes the other way as well sometimes with people like Donald Trump overestimating himself. where he's
Yeah.
on the other end of the spectrum. He's letting on that he knows everything. He doesn't have everything figured out.
Golly jeez. That's where we get out of balance. We lose sight. We start overestimating ourselves in some areas, and we're ignoring our blind spots. Along those lines, we've got an example of that in the back. Oh, did I not pin the link? Oh,
I'm not sure.
I see someone wondering in the chat, but the link is pinned to the top. I'll drop it again for those who want, but I'm going to bring up Tommy.
So you were talking about me.
I did.
See, you're a coward and a bullshitter.
No, that's your story.
I am nothing that you say I am. And Jeff, just to keep you straight, Jeff, I am not independent. Only through God am I independent. It's not me.
Please. Stephen, no offense, please. I did say
God is the source of empowerment.
Bring Stephen up.
okay.
Well, this is a one-on-one, Jack.
What the fuck is wrong with having more than
And it's
3
for people
fucking
that
people?
have questions about self-empowerment. So you
This
take up somebody's spot.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. Your autism is showing too. Yours is different than Hank's. It's not
He's
evil. It's not bad.
And yours
I
is very different than
understand.
both of us.
Tommy, he's reminding me of what he and I agreed to earlier. Okay?
Right. It's stupid. So you and I agreed to meet up the other night and you didn't.
I offered my explanation.
Yeah, you were tired.
Well, Tom, let's also consider how the invitation was screamed at me, and
I didn't scream it. Replay it.
no real incentive for me to join.
Yeah, there was incentive for both you to help DJM's channel out and maybe show us that whenever you don't have Mod God, you could stand on the bullshit you say.
Okay.
Okay, so
Hey,
what
So
are
the
your choices?
incentive, what do you mean, okay?
Here's
That's
a
not a
valid
response to what I said.
You're coming across as pretty angry. Is there anything
Maybe because you waste my time every day.
How can I change that opinion? What can
By
we do?
not being a disrespectful, time-wasting Mod God piece of shit.
What would that look like? Giving you full reign and control?
No, see, are you sure you don't want to backstage me and say, oh, Tom, I know you want full reign and control? Because that's how you're false witness.
How about I set back? Can you speak with Jeff? You want to talk
No,
with Jeff?
see, now you're running from the confrontation.
Like bullshitting with the games, like he's doing you right now.
If I wanted to see, this is why this.
Okay, it does seem like Tommy is just.
Well, he's not meeting the requirements of what we said we'd do with the callers. Neither is Steven, really. But is there anybody else in the back?
I'm trying my best. I do need some help though, once in a while. So,
And
okay.
Before you do, Stephen, I mean, in fairness, what I see happening in these relationships, interactions, people are triggering people. Stephen triggers people. He is who he is, and he is
once
how
in a
he
while.
is. But
Yeah,
you have a way.
I'm not the expert at that. I would say I have work to do. I'm not perfect at triggering people. I have work to do. But I do appreciate Tommy saying bring Stephen back up. That was very nice and sweet of Tommy.
Are these our only choices? You or Stephen? I mean, you or Tommy?
Oh, Jeff, you're kind of, come on. We've gotten along.
Does anyone else have any like self-empowerment?
I have problems, dude. I need some help with empowerment. I need some mental help. I am kind of crazy.
How about we check in?
Okay.
Right. So if there was something, if there was something you could change or overcome that would help improve your life, that's within you or around you, what would it be?
To improve my personal life or the world? Mine or?
Great. I'm glad you brought that in. The world, you and the world you live in, whatever you identify with in the world.
What I'm trying to work on the most lately is viewing the poor as people at my level, like equal, rather than being peasants, rather than looking down on them. because of the way I was raised. I was raised by some wealthy parents, and I think they instilled that in me. And I don't think it's
Possibly.
necessarily my fault. I think I was
All
raised
right.
that way to believe,
Well,
that they're lower.
let's assume that's true, right?
Okay.
So in the current day, if that is your desire to see just people as people,
Yes.
what would prevent you? I mean, memories are memories, but you've got that awareness, right?
Yeah, it's more than a memory, Jack. It's more like if you watched a TV show nonstop for 20 years or 30 years or more, it
Mhm.
becomes ingrained. It's not
You
really
get
just a memory, it's like a habit. It's
it's
it's like an
hypnotized.
addiction in a way, maybe.
So you don't
Stephen,
have the power to see them any other way with your
No, I
imagination?
try. I try my best, but I have moments where I'll see a homeless person and the thought crosses my mind like, "Oh, that fucking homeless bum, they're lazy," like,
Is it
all
like
this
this
kind
gay
of
person trying to become straight? You just can't make yourself see something a certain way that you're not inclined to see?
I think I can change. I'm
actually,
trying to view their
here,
humanity.
You hang out with poor people?
No, I don't.
here,
That's a
I don't
start.
like
please,
the smell. Sorry,
the
go ahead, Jack.
problem and solution are one and the same. Okay, the cause and effect. Why are you doing that? Why are you labeling those people? You're judging them. Why are you judging them? You think you understand them. Maybe there's something about the homeless people that you need to learn about so that you can love them deeply.
I don't know that I think I understand them, but I'm grossed out by them. Like, I
Why?
don't see them as
Why?
human.
Why?
I don't know, Jack. I'm trying to figure this out while I'm here.
Right. Let's figure it out.
I don't know.
And I don't mean to be interrogating.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you're kind of being
But
mean
if you,
saying, "Why? Why?" I'm trying to figure it
right.
out. I
So
don't know.
pause. So
Okay.
pause
Okay.
and breathe and go within yourself, right? And ask your heart. If there was a reason why I continue to judge people, and I own that reason, why am I doing that? Why am I seeing myself doing something that I don't want to do?
It's like I know now that it's wrong, but I've been this way for so long. Like, I've been this way for
Okay.
50
Just accept
something years.
it.
That's a habit. And
Yeah.
it's time to break the habit of being you. When you're ready to break the
I don't know
habit of
how,
being
though. That's what I'm asking,
right,
like, the how. How do I do it? How?
that's the key. The mystery is there is no how, there is only do. Okay?
There's
You
there's no
choose it,
how.
you choose to be different, and then you allow yourself to become different by impulse control, by checking in, oh, that's the old me. Yeah, I don't judge people like that anymore. I don't label them. They're just like me. If you got to remind yourself that
Yeah,
20 times a day for you to
I do
remember,
try to do that. To be fair, I do try to say they're just like me. I'm saying I only have moments now and then, like glimpses of my past, where I'll have a moment, I'll see somebody and think, "Oh, they're disgusting. You're a
hmm,
homeless bum."
Well, that
But
does
it's
sound
not
like
all the
progress
time.
then,
It's not always.
if the moments are less. And if you want something concrete and practical, just go hang out with poor people. And homeless people are not, because I'm a poor person. Are you talking about people like me or homeless
I
people
Well, how
specifically?
poor? You're indoors, right? You're not
So you mean
homeless.
more homeless, like the really indigent people,
I mean homeless people that are,
not just
you
the
know,
here's
masses, the working
here's
under a
class.
my
bridge or
suspicion.
you get
Here's my
Oh
listen.
yeah.
suspicion. You know you could help them, and you don't.
Go
That's
give them
why
money.
you're judging them, because you can blame them instead of yourself. And if you just accept that maybe you don't know how to help them,
I don't
then
know how to help them. I don't.
what if the answer is here and now with us? Because what I'm suggesting in my own personal goals is I believe that we are here to change this world, and that would mean ending the corruption, which ends the poverty.
I know
So
I could do better, Jack. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying and I'm trying to do better and I'm not as bad. I have made some improvements the way that I was in the past. Of I'm
yeah,
ashamed of some of my behavior in the past, the way that I treated
and so
certain
what are
people.
you willing to do to change it? That's the question. And no offense, Stephen, but I believe this question from Trexty is honest and valid. Let's have some context here. Is there any reason to believe Stephen is here with sincerity and a desire to improve through an honest and receptive
She
interaction with
doesn't.
Jeff?
I never
Sorry.
believed that about Stephen.
She
I
doesn't
realize
believe
that.
that. She doesn't believe that I've treated homeless people
Stephen.
poorly or thought of them badly.
No, there's doubts that you have actually any authenticity when you claim you want to change. Because when I'm suggesting change, you're not considering what I'm saying. You're immediately going back to your old loops. I'm not sure if you're
Resistant.
aware of that.
I'm sorry, Jack. I am trying to pay attention and see what your suggestions are. I'm trying to express to you that I have some shame of the past. How do I
Right.
deal with the shame, the
Fix it.
shameful incidents, like throwing the as
Fix
a
it.
young man, I threw money at a homeless person in his face
Fix
and
it, Stephen.
stuff.
How can you repent from that behavior? What can you do to make up for that? For your own spirit, your own soul.
And I pissed on a midget at a bar and did
Yeah,
did
now
wild.
you're
Was he
just
homeless?
playing games. I'm done with that.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know there was anybody in the back. I thought you were just filling in space. That's all he's good for.
Well, I was trying to be patient. I've been making Uncle Fatty wait for a little bit.
This guy's full of problems. We could try to help him. He's been helping us. Hey, Fatty.
It's all about
Welcome.
helping ourselves first, though, right? We got to take care of ourselves before we can try to help other people.
That's right. I love that flag.
Kind of sucks that way, but it is that way. We
Well-
have to be selfish in a way that you know,
What do you have going on?
nothing, man.
Hobby-wise.
Just hanging out with the grandbabies and stuff, and just got back home, eating some pie, getting ready to take a nap.
Oh, what kind of pie?
Peanut butter cheesecake pie.
Thanks.
Fucking amazing.
Okay. Well, you don't need any empowerment from us.
I know, but see, what I got to do is I got to keep myself from eating the whole damn thing. That's self-empowerment for me, because I don't want to get too fat or anything. So,
Oh yeah.
but I think there is, there's something to be said about what Stephen was just saying there. Really, it really was. I hate that I kind of agree with him, but the first step is admitting the problem exists, right? Don't we have to admit the problem? We have to acknowledge the problem even exists before we can start to change it. We have to define it. We have to classify it. We have to, know in our head that we have to think about it. Sometimes we have to force ourselves to think about it and go through, like the PEMS work through, role playing with another person, with a counselor, going over things that can help us build these new routines into our head, and not the old routines of waking up in the morning and going, today's going to suck. And then dogging on yourself all day long with, fuck you, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Attitude. When it could be a very positive experience. It's how do we break those cycles though? That's where you guys left off. How do we break those cycles?
Well, we've been.
You make a good point.
That's the fucking hardest
I
part.
do it mentally through like the stories and stuff that we were talking about. But you make a good point of like giving all these self-empowerment tips and tools and telling people how to self-empower doesn't help them actually do it. Like having a way to practice it in person with real people, like some kind of little self-empowerment gym or something that people could come and use the tools. I think that is the missing piece. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can do it one-on-one with people, but to have like some other environment to do it in.
Well, like what is the PEMS routine? It's physical,
emotional, mental, and then spiritual. You just check in with like the different parts of yourself in that moment,
right?
Kind of see where you are.
Physically, I'd say I'm elevated heart rate. I'm a little warm. Emotional, definitely feeling like, could be overwhelmed or frustrated, whatever it is. But just noticing those idiosyncrasies, acknowledging them and really saying them out loud in your head that these things are what's going on right now. This is how I'm feeling. This is what my body's doing. This is my mind is racing, and whatever it may be, the chemicals, that go off are going to be more than likely in control of. Spurging out is a great example.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's really hard to get control of a spurg out or a meltdown.
But like you were saying, Jack, I think it's about maintaining that step back from yourself and being able to really, however you said it, kind of overlook yourself from a different perspective.
So you said something early, and I've heard it from many people. I want to explore if I heard you right. How do we know when we've worked on ourselves enough to know that we can help others? Because everyone, like I hear from a lot of people, you can't help others until you help yourself. But this is kind of along the lines of this. You don't need to know everything
Right.
to help someone.
Yep.
You got to be present and willing.
And somewhat disattached and able to just listen
Like boundaries.
unconditionally, right? To giving advice and stuff is great, right? But just being able to just sit and listen is a hard part. I think a lot of us are just, waiting to respond a lot of times.
Well, listening and talking is one thing, right?
Like as a counselor, though,
putting into
You can
practice.
empower through listening too. In fact, I did a whole stream on the 7 levels of listening and what you can do with the different types of listening. And so listening can be a tool of helping others to self-empower.
let him, get the whole thing out. Like the 3-second rule. If you, as a counselor, you want to wait at least 3 seconds minimum. Typically, 5-second rule, but after 3 seconds, people will continue to talk because they
Right.
believe somebody's really listening. When you get that 3-second pause and they can keep, and you let them keep going, that's when the good shit comes out. I think.
Yeah.
From a counselor's
Sometimes the really good
perspective,
stuff doesn't happen until like 2 or 3 hours into a conversation.
we've got our boundaries and we've got to stay guarded and keep information close to the chest and whatever sometimes, but I think that's what just kind of blows the whole thing apart is we bottle up shit and then it just comes out when you don't want it to.
Right. It's a sign of emotional unwell-being or mental unhealth. It's a lack of spiritual alignment, or it's a lack of being present, because people in this world, they fall into these habits of who they were, habits of routine, and they lose sight of life and growth, learning, excitement, different experiences. Everything is waiting for us. We get to choose the direction of our life. We get to choose the efforts. I used to be so afraid of making mistakes that I talked myself out of trying.
Yeah, man.
Perfectionism. That's a form of fear, like live without fear.
Oh yeah, that's a big fear thing.
And that's what I realized. I had to come to terms with that, but this is what I've learned. I learned how to learn from my past failures.
Yeah.
And I have failed so much in the past 7+ years.
Mm-hmm.
Still failing.
I know how to not give up. Because, in the eyes of many, I am a failure. I've achieved nothing. I've just talked a lot.
Perspective.
I sometimes get haunted by that specter, but I ignore it again because I'm so confident in my potential. I may not be succeeding right now, but I have not lost sight of the potential. Like I know what I'm potentially capable of, and that's enough to make me not write myself as a failure yet until I make the attempt to achieve it. So sometimes you don't have to see your actual success. You can just be confident in your potential, and that's enough to stave off failure.
Self-confidence is hard. I think that's the battle of life is self-confidence and self-doubt. That we have.
Are you confident in your art and the music that you're making and all of that? Because that's some pretty impressive stuff.
I'd say more inspired, but I think that brings the inherent maybe confidence, but like through the cognitive check-in, like this, like Sims, when you really break down why we're feeling what we're feeling, it's usually fear of failure, fear of judgment, definitely fear of social judgment for sure.
Right? Hello.
Fucking A.
That's why I'm trying to do this.
Oh yeah. Every
surprises me
amount of
because you
trouble
seem
that
so
most people
like
got into, I got in a lot of trouble, right? Mostly just, stupid crimes, weed crimes and shit. But like, a lot of speeding tickets. But, it's like, we are what we tell ourselves we're going to be. Right? Sometimes, like Jack was saying, when you tell a kid that he's real smart, they'll take that to heart. Sometimes they'll get cocky.
it happened to me.
So I think it's a lot about our environment, and when it comes down to getting in trouble, like it's all about our environment. We're always showing off for somebody. We're always in a state of trying to impress somebody else throughout life.
Is that how you ended up in trouble most of the time for trying to
just
show off for friends?
In general, yeah. Not showing off, but just, being more of something, being like, a drug dealer could say the same thing. I never got busted for that, but one could say that it's more about the knowledge and the prestige and the clout than it is the actual anything else. It's the reputation. It's the swagger that comes from that reputation. But how, the hardest thing to do is be alone. It's not about being lonely. As being alone and being lonely are two different things. And the holidays are a fucking son of a bitch for folks that are going through any type of mental health issue.
Yeah.
From the smallest to the biggest, especially with family around the holidays and the way the fucking society is all at each other's throats right now and shit. Like there's,
Are they though? I guess not where I'm at.
I know you're not plugged in, but just in general, you know what I'm saying without going there.
I'm glad. Because you just came back from family, right? So you're okay on your end with family and stuff.
Yeah, got a few red hats in the family, but they know how I feel.
What does that mean? Trump supporters?
No.
Oh, red hats?
Spaghetti, bro.
Spaghetti?
Marinara sauce. Anyways.
Oh yeah. I guess tell me later. I don't know what a red hat is. I thought it was MAGA.
Well, cultivating self-awareness, I think, is one of man's biggest struggles.
Right.
Well, how empowered are you right now? Is there anything you stuck at?
All kinds of shit, yeah.
What do you want to work on?
Pretty much always working on the positivity shit. Self-mantras,
Does your music help? Because it sure helps other people. It helps me.
But fucking being in construction, fucking is tough, dude. I'm around a lot of scruffy, grumpy motherfuckers.
Ooh.
As my lead man and my helpers, my employees, I got a couple of decent, guys I got guys I've worked with for 20 something fucking years, dude. We barely ever looked each other in the eye. But we know each other in and out. We've been with each other for so long that we know all the stories. We know all the timeline. Great fucking friends, barely ever once ever looked each other in the eye. So that's something I'm definitely focusing on in real life, in person. It's hard to just look into a camera.
Getting to know them better.
I just think there's a lot more personal energy that really happens in conversation when you can really look somebody in the eye, especially in person. We're so used to just, looking at a screen or not directly making that effort to stay, focused like that. That's something I'm definitely working on. And trying not to freak out on fucking guys. Because I do hold a high standard.
To me, you're not one of the people I really have to worry about freaking out. You're pretty chill when I let
on
you
the job site, though. I will freak. I have a tendency to go to fatty mode real quick.
Oh.
every day is a futile lesson in life on adapt and overcome. Look
Does
at
your music help,
so,
like
like,
your art?
oh yeah, playing music. Shit, the other night we played 4 songs and just fucking lit the house up. Playing live is awesome.
That sounds
Getting
empowering.
out, but it's about balance. You got to have the balance. I've always talked about balance with you, and shit. Finding that balance is it's tough.
I only see
Real
you
tough.
from the outside, and to me, you do a pretty good job, to the point where you even inspire me on some things.
Yeah, fucking you inspire me and Jack as well. Fucking everybody. I think I've gotten something from. I'm a people watcher, sure, but
What are you looking like? What's one thing that you're
Matt-
looking to do now that you need? If you had, it would let you do this next thing.
Sorry, you're gonna have to say that again. I was focusing on the back chat.
Okay. What is one thing you're either working on or stuck at or that you need? If you had it, then it would let you do something you're trying to do. What's one thing you're missing or waiting on or trying to find?
Definitely working on positive affirmations. Having that daily calendar in the morning that I can read a few things off of, and just maintaining the silly things that the famous quotes.
Well, I'm probably going live later because we're having that roast later tonight. So I'm going to do a stream before that. And I'd
Fun.
love it if you stop by and we
Who's
could
that
hang
with?
out
Who are you doing
and
that?
vibe and do some of your music.
Yeah, shit, whatever. Roast sounds fun.
That's going to be over at Landry's at like you're on Pacific. I think it's going to be 7 p.m. our time.
Nice.
But we can go hang out on my stream before and like get the vibe. Because I don't know if you appreciate what you're doing on YouTube here lately with your music and just your presence. And so does that help you? Does knowing that you're helping other people help you mentally?
It does. I don't tend to think about it too much, really, but it does for sure.
Well,
I think
you are.
I think it's just a great source. I think it's a great source for conversations like this where you can really deep dive in on yourself and not have to dive in on other people too hard. Because we can all do that. We can all pick each other apart.
I love diving into people when they can handle it. We easily can.
Changing our thoughts is the toughest thing. I mean, we have to question our beliefs. We have to name the feelings that we're feeling and really acknowledge what they are and exist. And from there, I mean, it's all about focused, positivity.
Believe it or not, I've actually learned a few things about this that could be pretty helpful.
Lay it on us, Big Daddy.
Well, it's not just about the story. It's about seeing ourselves do things, right? Seeing the results. We can't be caught up on the results, but we can look at the evidence to know that, okay, I'm good. And if I'm good, who can I serve? How can I help using my talents and stuff?
Oh, Jack. I love
Andy, that is a generous idea. Donate $50 right here and now if you vow to permanently.
I think you should take it. I think you should hold out for more, but you should definitely take it at some point.
Well,
I think it would help your channel immensely.
The reality is, I did that as a favor to him, to help him not get timed out himself. And he said he would not abuse it. I believe I saw him timing Andy out. So no further contributions are wanted from you, Andy. Thank you. Okay. You've been generous and allow me to do that in return for what you've already shared. Okay. I took it, at least on one account, and I'll catch the other one later.
Wow. So I would have taken it. That was very generous, Jack.
Well, I feel it's right. Andy is a supporter, and Snafu did say he wouldn't abuse it, and
And to me,
pretty sure I saw it.
when
Go
you
ahead.
focus on the lowest common denominator, it dishonors the people that are here for the right reason, bringing their best self, and to have all of the people that are not showing up with that get the attention instead of the people that are here in the right mindset for what you offer is kind of like.
Well, Jeff, this has been what I've been struggling with personally. And hey, maybe you guys can help, because Fatty, you've got a great perspective too. You've picked up a lot on your path of mental health and growth. I do find myself, here's my self-analysis. I go to the most difficult places to find love, it seems. Golly geez, Andy, blessings to you.
Thank you,
Sincere.
Andy.
And I mean, that's
Get
my
used to it, Jack.
sincere. I appreciate you, brother. And along those lines, please, sorry, I've been overlooking Jay. Okay, Jay, the Cash Apps, sincerely, thank you. I've been overdue in sharing my gratitude for you. It's when it's in the chat, it's easier to see. Back to where we were. My struggle, what I've been finding myself doing, I keep looking to the dark, and while I'm looking at the dark, I'm missing out on all the love and support that is there, right? So I've been trying to watch myself. Why am I attracted to these people that are so hard to love?
I've been asking myself that. I think it's a testimony to your kind, so like your compassion and your vision and all that you're trying to help the most extreme cases, but what do you get out of it? Like, that's a big challenge to take on.
My hope is, I mean, I have faith in what I've learned. If I can communicate what I've learned and someone else can understand what I understand about being, I know they'll feel better.
But why pick, like, why those cases in particular instead of people that might actually be more, like, your message might have a better chance of reaching? Is it to prove something to yourself?
Possibly. That's one of the things I've wondered, because in the past, as union president and all these roles, all these hats I wore, I was constantly giving myself away, because in hindsight, I had low self-worth. So I was trying to find validation outside of me, right? So I'm wondering if this might still be lingering low self-worth that I'm still facing somehow, because I'm
So
self-sabotaging.
You have some confidence to build in. Because I think if you saw more success with reaching people and helping people, then you wouldn't like be so tempted to, like, you wouldn't need that to validate what you're doing. You would get the validation from doing the actual work that's having an effect, and you would build confidence through doing that.
Well, and that's what I'm doing. Like I said, I've learned how to learn from my failures. And every day when I try and communicate with Tommy or Snafu or Steven or anyone, and Steven's not as bad, he's hit and miss some days. But every time I try to connect with someone, I fail. I accept my failure. I try to figure out, what can I do better? I mean, how can I reach this personality? There is a way.
So you
There's
like a
always a
challenge.
way. That's my problem too. I do like a challenge.
I relate to that. But are you connecting with people outside of those? Like, are you making actual connections with people other than that? Or are you only trying to connect with, like, are you hyper focused on trying to connect with these specific people and missing other connections you could be making?
That is where I suspect I am, because I get this. There's many people who have offered me this feedback. It's self-sabotage. It is entertaining the chaos so much on my live streams. It's totally just brought confusion. People don't know what I'm trying to do, it seems.
I think that's a common on a lot of channels around here.
I'd say it takes a few months to get all the lore to where you could understand what's going on here. But I think your fucking opening monologues are fucking top notch, Jack. I do.
And I think your motives are in the like there's no doubt that your heart's in the right place. People may
Yeah.
have opinions about how you're executing, but I think your intentions are sincere.
Thank you.
Yeah, I see a man that's pretty fucking emotionally aware that can come onto a live stream and tell people, look at man, this is fucking inspiring to me. This is really what fucking gets me going, guys. And then next thing you know, boom, shut the fuck up, Jack. You're doing it all wrong. Your feelings are wrong.
Fatty, you're reminding me of something. And
Go
Jeff,
get it.
just so you're aware, we do have Stephen still in the back, and we have Hank has just returned. Should we rotate through?
I
for
would
a
pick
minute?
Hank over Steven every time. But it's
I'm going to rotate Fatty through for just a few minutes. Thank you. But you reminded me
I
of
would
something
see that at night too, if you're up for it.
I want to come back to as well, though, the idea of it's tied to self-empowerment, finding people you admire. That I think is
Yes.
important, right?
And mentors.
So I'm here to vouch for Jack. I'm perfectly fine with him having that opposition there just to spice the soup up. I haven't banned a single one of them from my panels. They just don't feel calling because it's too hot for them. There's too much. They have a lot to answer for if they come to my panels because it's full of nerds.
Oh, I'll have to stop by one day then.
Yeah, I think it's usually Tuesday. Benjamin may try to change it to Wednesday, but it's for very nerdy people. So if they come with their standard script, we'll sit them down and hyperanalyze them and pull them apart, and they don't really like it. They just don't come back on their own, even though they're technically allowed to be there.
That's interesting way to run a panel. And now there's AI that you can run people through.
Yeah, you run people through algorithms. That's been the thing for a while. I really don't really like the chop offs because they go to the mean and they don't really understand me. So I had to do a lot of programming just to get them calibrated to where they're actually useful to me. So, but I vote for Jack at least talking to them and try to engage with them because that's how you broker peace.
Thank you, Hank. And that is honestly what I'm trying to do. What I learned for myself. It's what in line with what Jeff was describing earlier, right? Self-authorship. I figured out ways to do that with myself. And the more I experienced change and hardship in my life, I recognized the importance of communication. And here's my theory, right? Truth and love go together. And through truth and love, we can share understandings. But the truth must be shared with love and received with love. That means a desire for what's being offered. And so that's why if there's no willingness, there's no love, there's no trust, right?
And I don't waste a lot of time on those people. Like I filter those people out and then I focus on the ones where there is that potential for love. I guess that was my point from earlier.
That's something I've witnessed with you. Yes, you've done a lot better job of that than I have. And taking on the challenging.
I send them to you. Like at least there's a space for when they show up on mine. There's a place to send them.
It's another place for them to try, right? Because we're sharing similar messages: empowerment, mental health, ownership, right? Gaining clarity. We're sharing same messages, different ways of communicating it. But in the bigger picture, regarding the algorithms and social media, my social media and algorithms are filled with bright minds, inspiring people. There's so many channels I found under 3,000 subscribers. And it's these men and women with these testimonies, and there's just beautiful explanations of life being shared. Jeff, you're one of them. I feel I'm one of these. We're a part of something big that's happening.
Where are they? Nobody knows that, because there's all this other chaos over here. If you have all that, you need to trot that out.
You know what? I did it a long time ago. I put a list together on one of my blogs, I think, with a long list of people I came across and I was learning from. Because I'm like, anyone can learn from these people, and these people are just teaching stuff that changes lives, man. So this, Jeff, what you've agreed to do with me is it's more helpful than I think you may realize. It's a gift.
So there'll be another episode.
I'm hoping for. I believe there's a lot of positive.
What topic should we do?
Finding goals. You good with that?
Yeah.
I mean, because that's kind of the next step of. Hey, beautiful, man. I am glad to see that too. And you know what? Great. I still have that pulled up. Oh, I had it. It's actually in the description is a link for what he is referring to.
Oh, the panel awards. Yeah.
No, I didn't put it in today.
I remember those from last year.
I'll pull this up.
Did you win anything?
Not yet. This week is a vote for live streamer of the year. I saw the post for education one. Somehow I got involved in that one, but there's some strong runners in the field of educational live streaming. So there's awards on NPC. Let me get his link going for us. Jeff, please. Oh, should I bring Steven or Uncle Fatty back up? And how long do you feel like running? I forgot to ask you that.
I don't know. I was going to kind of wind down at some point, take a little break, and then fire up a stream on my own and kind of lead into that roast later.
Do you want to try conversations with a new option?
I mean, I'm reading his comments in the back. Nothing to me indicates that he's here for sincere conversation.
I realize that.
This is I'm really good at patterns, and I don't see anything today that's out of the ordinary for the pattern that I've already identified with Steven. So there's no surprises. This is a surprise.
Another wonderful guest. Welcome back, Lindsay. How are you?
Hello, I'm great. It's been a while since anyway, I'm not going to make much small talk. Hello, you two. And you asked a question that I thought was really interesting about yourself, Jack. You said, why do I keep doing this? In reference to maybe letting up Snafu or anyone else that's going to, I don't want to say abuse. I don't know if that would be the right word.
Oh, you could get away with using it, I think.
Okay, let's use abuse. So here's my theory on it, and tell me what you think, because I could be wrong. If you're trying to be Christ-like, you would be doing unto others as you would have them do unto you, correct? And you try to live by those principles. And you yourself would love to be forgiven for all of the things that you did, all the shortcomings that you had or perceived shortcomings. and to be given a second chance. And so you extend that offer to others through empathy because you know how that feels. But then I would add to that too that there is a negative side of empathy. Being too empathetic can also get you into trouble. But what do you think about that whole theory that I said at the beginning about maybe trying to master something that you yourself need through others?
That's literally what I'm doing.
Like you
I've
see
been
yourself in them. And
I've been learning forgiveness and compassion and patience because those are exactly what I've been seeking from others.
But do you
Say 'em
see how
again.
you've become? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Compassion, patience, and what was the other one?
Forgiveness.
Forgive.
That's why every day is a new day with me.
But
I
they
allow-
won't, some won't extend it to you and never will and can't for whatever reason. But you keep putting your energy into, okay, no. Well, we disagree there, into that. Maybe because they don't want to, they can, but they don't want to. Maybe it's not a can't thing. But what happens, I think, with too much empathy for others, you can get trampled on, but you become like Charlie Brown with the football. Every damn time Lucy is going to, or is it Marcy or Lucy or
Lucy in the football.
Lucy?
Yep.
That, you know
Love
what?
my life.
Lucy is always taking that football away every damn time. And there are some Lucys in this world, but I can tell you don't like what I'm saying. You didn't even have to furrow your eyebrows.
Oh, you're reading vibes. I get that.
Well,
I get it now.
I know, and I'm often misunderstood. I understand what you're saying, but please recognize while you may not have experience with people changing, I've studied what people have called the sciences of transformation, right? Mental health, and I've been through events and witnessed many different modalities of watching men and women like that transform instantaneously.
That's why I corrected what I said. I completely agree with you. But there's a difference between somebody who is willing to change and
Right.
is for it and somebody who won't change. It's not a can't thing. You're right. I think everyone can change in different ways. It's not a can't thing with people that are difficult. It's a won't. So wouldn't it be
Right.
wouldn't you be privy to find where the unwillingness to change comes from?
Yes, that's actually where that's an approach I've witnessed and was kind of talking with Jeff about prior to the stream. I know a lot of things, but just like anything else, and kind of what Jeff and I were talking about earlier, not having knowledge is one thing, putting it into practice is another, right? Sorry, I got distracted. NPC blessings. Hey, I'm grateful
Oh my
you're
God.
on this channel, man.
Wait, that was from. Oh, you accidentally donated to me. NPC, it will not go to waste. Thank you so much. Oh my
right.
God. I wouldn't even expected that.
NPC has the strangest ways of trying to get me to shut up.
Hey,
Jack, I have a question about you said forgiveness, love, patience, and compassion.
compassion.
And so for the people, like I don't have anything to forgive you for, so we're good there. But I definitely have patience with you and I feel compassion. And so people that are able to extend that to you, if that's what you're seeking, does it do anything for you to have it come from some people at least? And what do we like it once you get that, what do we get from Jack now that he has that?
Oh, for those who are paying attention to me, I noticed extreme changes there was when I went down to Louisiana and I got to spend time with in person with Rose and Jeff, actual having human beings with me in the day. Holy shit. It was right around that. And I also came across an online friend, right? Friends, holy shit. Having someone who actually cares and listens, it makes such a difference. It really does. And for so long, literally, Jeff, for over 7 years, the feedback I got from people, it was negative. So how do you improve yourself when all you're getting is negative feedback? There's no support to be found. It's just you, right?
Yep.
Well, I figure out this is what the result is. I mean, I am who I am. I'm doing the best I can, but I've learned a lot. And when I meet the people who want, you know, they see something in me and they want what I've got, dude, I know I can help those people. Those are the ones who will receive what I have to offer. And I just haven't encountered them. I've encountered people who don't respect me. They mock me. They just think I'm a joke. They think I'm some sort of creature. They're just disrespectful and arrogant. And I've been trying to figure out what to do with it, Jeff.
I've had those people my whole life, and I don't even pay attention to. They don't take a 1 single millimeter of my bandwidth.
That was a lesson I had to learn. I've learned to detach. The panel verses taught me a lot about myself and others. Like I said, I've been open about it, Jeff. I've been studying me and human behavior. Before I came on YouTube, I was studying human behavior, history, psychology, sociology, anything I could find. Lectures are my favorite way of spending time. I love learning. People don't know that about me because they don't.
Oh, I could tell.
They test my patience more than my knowledge. It's fascinating.
Well, yeah, but a lot of times you fail the test too. That's why they
Now,
test, because they're testing to see if you're going to be the one to meet their needs. And when you fail the patience test,
you're right. It's been a learning growth for me. And here, maybe you can help me if you're willing. We're coming up on 2 hours already, but we've got in the back some other options now.
yes, I noticed.
Uncle Fatty is still patient with us. Stephen is still lingering. We've got Moose, Landry, and Snafu, all of which I believe could benefit from some.
Well, since we've already kind of identified Snafu as in a category a little bit separate from the other two, I think maybe leaving him where he is today and giving the people that actually does have some potential a chance.
You know what? You're supported.
It's just like best use of time. That's what I'm looking at.
Yes. I think let's start with our friend Moose.
Hello, Mr. Moose.
Welcome back, friend.
You got problems?
Hey, what's going on? So,
Hey.
let me can I start real fast with the explanation for the Jake the asshole bit? I went over there and he treated Landry like total shit, and he treated me really nice. And so I was trying to see what it was going to take for me to say to him to make him like turn on me and call me a shill bitch and throw me out. But he didn't. He treated me with respect. It was an odd feeling because like I tried to get him to not like me, but he didn't. Yeah. Anyways, Jack. Yeah, I called you a creature. Other people call me creature. They call each other creatures. We're all like animals in a way. Like we all have we're creatures of habit.
I even wore antlers.
I mean, it's just
Is that what you want to be?
No, but we're about to roast you. We're about to roast Jeff. We're about to roast me. We're about to roast Landry.
I didn't
We're
ask for
doing a
that.
roast.
I didn't ask for that. I don't remember being invited.
I was going to invite you. That's why I'm here.
Oh, were you?
That's why
You're
I'm
here
here.
now to invite me? All right, thanks.
It's
No,
tonight.
No, thank you. I've
Well, you
lost
can
my
roast other
interest.
people's.
I've lost my interest with you and Landry and the silly games, to be honest. I asked you if that's what you want. You want to just be a creature in a habit and see everyone else as creatures, people who are trying to help you.
Losers.
Yep, that's what I thought. He's not real.
I don't know what that was about.
He has no respect for me. He's shown that quite obviously, most recently with Landry and others, and then on a bigger audience, you know.
Do you think you'll ever get his respect?
When he opens his mind and listens, when he looks with honesty instead of telling himself these lies about me.
But see, that's external locus of control because it leaves it on him to get
right.
But is there anything you yourself? Do you think there's anything you can do to get the respect, or do you think it's like it's gonna have to come from him, if at all?
Yeah, he's not willing. He's not willing to accept that he's been wrong. And when he's willing to accept that he's been wrong about me, we'll have different conversations.
And have y'all tried a conversation? Because I know that he's gone around and had some like closure conversations with a lot of people.
Yeah, he went through the motions with me, and I've reached out to him. It's been an open invitation through text. I actually invited him to join, just like I invited Landry to try and do something serious with me. You know, they want to play their games and be children, I guess. I don't get it, but that's what they choose. So what can I do if they won't look
I'm
at
kind of in the same
my
place.
good
I let them do
qualities?
their thing, and I do my thing, and we collaborate where we can. And there's
Yeah.
things I'm doing that they're not interested in. So it's you find the overlap, but is there any area of overlap, do you think, where you could work together?
I tried. They're not interested in what I offer.
I
They
guess
want
there's
me
nothing you
to
can
do their things, right? They want me to play their games. But they don't seem to have interest in what I want to do. And Jeff, that's why I honor you. You do. You care about trying to make a difference.
I really
You care
do.
about
Like,
trying
it
to
seems like a
help
bad thing here, but I'm not gonna stop doing it because I don't think it's a bad thing, and I can't turn it off anyway. So I'm cursed with it.
Well, you have fun with it. I've lost the fun. You know, being the butt of everyone's joke all the time. I'm a fun guy. I make fun. I have
We had
fun
fun
because I
yesterday.
am
I had a lot
fun
of fun
man.
with you.
Yeah, it was. We shared respect. It's fun when we share respect.
We were
Along that
talking about that the other when we talked about like giving grace and doing things in good faith. It kind of all comes down to respect. If you're acting out of respect for the person, that's all going to naturally follow. But if you don't have respect for the person, why are you interacting with them in the first place? I don't go out of my way to interact with people I don't respect or have some kind of like positive regard for. It just seems like a waste of my bandwidth.
You're a good example.
I don't get anything out of it at all.
You're a good
I get something out of acting people that can add something to what I'm doing.
Welcome, Landry.
Welcome.
What's up? I haven't been here in a while. You know, I mean, I don't come here often. I don't think that you're the butt of my joke. I think it's, I don't know
Really?
where it's
I like your
pretty
shirt.
dated. Yes,
Really?
really. I really think that, yes. What is it? What is it that you're referring to?
You're constant. I mean, when my name comes out from your mouth, it's not with respect. It's with ridicule and disrespect. You don't see it?
barely bring you up.
Okay.
It's true.
That's your story. Okay.
You think it's not true?
Hey,
Do you think
you're
it-
right?
Well,
I'm
AI
wrong.
now,
I'm
they
not
can
arguing.
analyze and count it.
I'm not arguing.
Well, I just want to ask you a question. Do you think it's possible that people hone in on those things because they want to see the car wreck, and I'm sure you have people who send you things without you even asking for it. Oh, look what he said. Look what this person said. They did it to me too in the beginning, and I learned to say, I see your guys' game, and you're just trying to add fuel to the fire to the fuel, whatever one it is. And
Landry,
okay, cool.
I
That's all I'll say.
I see your game, and you're playing with the fire, adding to the fire, to the pile of shit against Jack. You're talking about yourself, young man.
Well, how are
This
you
is-
right now? How can we help you?
I'm good. I'm
Mhm.
reset. I'm
Okay.
completely at peace. How do I present myself so they accept me as
I
not a
don't know.
joke?
I don't
Right,
know.
right. I'm not a joke. I'm a man who
But
can help
here's the thing,
others.
like, you have to be okay with being a joke here in the panel
Okay,
to
and
some
I
people.
am.
So is it just
I
those two in particular that you don't want to be a joke to,
No.
or just anybody that thinks you're a joke?
Well, they chose to show up here after just treating me like a joke. I tuned into Landry's live stream for a few moments after it was done, went through it rather quickly, just enough to hear Moose call me a creature and regular mocking, making fun of Jack. You know, Jack's just an incompetent loser and all this stuff. And it's like, what the frick is this? And then they want me to treat them like they're my friend. It's like, no, dude, what the hell? Hey, MPC,
Wow.
you're another great example, my brother, of a streamer maintaining respect in your area. Anyone is better off alone than to have someone around that has nothing to give you but disrespect. Standing with God is better than standing alone. That's the conclusion I came to. What are you feeling, Jeff?
Confused
Which part?
because I don't know what's going on. I don't know what just happened or why it happened either. And then the stuff you're telling me about what you see on other streams. So
It's my experience that I've been dealing with. It's been fascinating. But this comment here, for so many years in my life, I had no relationship with a higher power. I felt it was just me. I was the only one I could count on because that's what the world showed me. I couldn't depend on mom and dad. I couldn't depend on anybody else in this world. It was up to me to figure it out. And made a tough version of me, but I was so tough on myself for so long.
oh yeah.
I mean,
Same
death
here.
was
As hard as people think I am on other, as much of an asshole as people think I am, you can't imagine what I do to myself. I'm way worse with myself than any of you.
I want to extend an invitation, seriously. Patriot Hub, if you're available and interested, you would be a welcomed participant here. Because I don't know if you've heard, but what Jeff and I have been talking about is kind of our goal. Part of the goal is men being kinder to men. I guess I could have done better with Landry and Moose, couldn't I? I could
But
have.
they could have done better with you. I mean, I think there was plenty of kindness to go around on all sides. And I'm not sure why the kindness is not there.
Yeah. It's the lack of respect, and the lack of respect
It
is.
is. There's definitely, it looked to me like lack of respect and the need to express that lack of respect.
That's the egoic
Which
desire.
to me is a form of communication. So there's still a dialogue that they're trying to have. They're just trying to have it in their way, their little unique, special way.
It's
But
fascinating.
it doesn't seem like they're indifferent.
Hey, we've got another mind who is very great at analyzing.
Oh,
Welcome,
Greetings,
welcome,
Mr. Talcott, Jeffrey.
brother
Paul.
Paul. Good to hear you. Good to have you.
What's your
How's life?
analysis of all this?
Yes, please.
It's you know, we act as if it's like Groundhog's Day here. We act as if we all forget about who everyone is, the roles they play, what their sort of connections are, their motives, their intent. It's obvious Moose came over here like he always does, feigning interest and care in order to promote and market his roast that nobody's really going to go watch and be a part of. That's all it is. It's a use, right?
I think you're getting
So,
roasted. Are you not curious?
not really.
Oh,
I mean, what are you really going to say about me that hasn't already been said? What, I'm fat, I can't stand up, like
I didn't realize how tall you
I
were.
look like an albino. We've heard it all before, you know? I mean, it's like, what is a roast exactly any different than every other panel interaction that we've seen every fucking day? It's basically people sitting around talking about other people. Wow. We've never seen or heard that before.
It's
And
just
let-
I think formalizing it and trying to do it in an intentionally fun way.
Hey,
is
and
way-
let's face it, Paul is probably the best at roasting himself. I don't know that there's better, to be honest, but
Yeah, well, that's precisely why I probably need to work on the ulterior motive, right? The antithetical perspective, which I have been, you know, this idea of, you know, the way I've characterized it before, if you put forth a narrative of care, because I like to use the term care, this love thing has been kind of watered down, but we can call it love. Well, then my chief piece on the board was freedom, right? And when I meditated on this for a while, I came to realize that you can't have true freedom without true care, and you can't have true care without freedom, right? They go hand in hand. So I think that I've done pretty well at the freedom role, right? I've had to pick back up where I started from with the care role, right, and get back to that. So, yeah, I'm trying to walk that middle way, right? So, you know, I can care for you and not always agree with you or even believe you, but find a place of care and some level of respect for myself and you and what you're trying to do, and understand that if I can't add on to that or contribute to that, I'm probably best off just staying out of it, right? And I think that that's something that a lot of folks here could walk with as well, right? Instead of showing up every day to tell Jack how to be Jack better and how to live his life and what he's doing wrong and all the rest of it, just let him be him and do his thing and learn his own way on his own time. He's not going to listen to you anyway. He's a lot like me, right? So you're wasting your time, as Tommy put it, right? He blames you for him wasting his time, which I love that dynamic. You know, while he tells you you take no responsibility and accountability, hashtag that's you. No one can make you come here and waste your time beating your head against Jack's wall of supposed love, right? It's like, you know, let's find a different modality here.
Yeah, it's
I
quite a
love
new
it.
lead. Your whole thing was kind of tearing people down and telling them all about themselves too.
Yeah,
Well,
again,
Do you have
I'm
any
not
tips
saying
for,
I'm not saying there's not potentially a time and place for that. When it becomes an obsessive habit where that's all you have and that's the only tool in the toolbox, you got to reflect on yourself and where you're at, right? And what that's creating for you. So, you know, yeah, man, accountability, responsibility is a good thing. You know, going around the room, letting us all know what our perspectives or ourselves and each other are, cool. When there's nothing else but that, it's an unhealthy obsession, right?
Yep. Hey, and along with what you said, Paul, I don't know if you recognized it, but what you said, if you can't, if you find that you can't support or you know build, then it's best to stay away. I made that choice with you for a little bit because I felt like I was causing too much interruption. I wanted to give you some space. And that care, what you're saying, the thing I had to learn to balance was number one, care about the right thing, right? So I would get so worked up sometimes over this most irrelevant things. But then it's also more importantly, caring with detachment, right? because what you said, Paul, yes, freedom and care, they go together for sure. But at the same time, we've got to have this trust enough to be detached that everything will work out, I guess.
Do you feel that?
You're asking me?
Jack, or either, but
Well, yeah, I mean,
Jack.
I've had to with the health issues and whatever else, and sort of reflecting more and more, and doing more prayer and sort of meditation and all that, just to try to get back to feeling where I'd like to feel. I have to keep that outcome and that positive attitude. Christo said something down there in chat that I'm afraid, and that's why I'm no longer engaging or blocking certain people. That's like saying I'm afraid to go back to the block with a bunch of addicts and violent people. It's not that I'm afraid of it. It's that I do it a little too well and it doesn't do me or anyone else any favors, right? I'm afraid of not living into my true potential and becoming what I'm meant to be, which is a caring, loving, free person who's not engaged in unhealthy modalities that destroy myself or others, right? So it's just called change. It's called maturing. It's called growing. It's called choosing something different with your time, energy, attention. There's nothing bad about that. There's nothing you're going to insult me about that with, right? And again,
Well, you
just the
seem a
fact
lot
you think
calmer.
that that's negative and that that's an insult shows where you're at from your perspective, right?
One of the
I
things
like.
we
Do
were
you notice the energy change though from this, like where we are now? It's a lot calmer. I feel grounded. I'm trying to get better at vibes, and like whatever Paul is or is not, I definitely think the energy here is
it's
kind of
beautiful.
nice.
It is. Paul, I'm noticing there is a change since the last time I've heard you. And I trust things are okay for you, right? You're a strong man. You might, I think we're kind of alike though. We probably do things the hard way sometimes. And I hope that's not happening too much with you.
Well, that's part of my if you ask some folks out here who've done the research, that's part of my astrological sort of projection, right? That's sort of the makeup of who and what I am. But I would argue that uh, it's possible that I was a little too strong for my own good, right? For myself and others, and that I wasn't practicing being more weak, right? And being okay with that, being more vulnerable and being okay with that, right? There's a time for every season, right? There's a season for every emotion, right? Or state of beingness. So to deny that aspect of self, to pursue the other aspect of self is just that. It's denial out of a form of dysfunction, right? So or vice versa. So yeah, I think that part of this dis-ease, the pain and all the issues caused me to have to stop and look at myself again and be honest with myself on all levels, right? Not just diet, exercise, the way that I was living and emoting, but the emotions that I was choosing to feel and experience, right? Or to ignore and shut out because of what it represents. So yeah, if I'm going to be real with myself and others, it has a light side and a dark side, right?
I have a theory about you, Paul, that you and me, we're very similar. I think we're more sensitive than people realize. A lot more sensitive than people realize.
I think we all are. I think sensitivity is
There you
the
go.
root of a lot of this a lot of what we saw today, all the way around.
But it can be a curse or a gift, right? And that's what I heard Paul saying too. The sensitive, the emotions will be powerful, man. There's no freaking denying those. But there's a time and a place for everything. There's a time we're gonna feel sad. There's a time we're gonna feel broken, but the strength comes through making it through those things. The confidence comes through making it through those uncertainties. I lost where I started from.
Well, you want to start
These
wrapping up?
lives
Maybe
we're
it's
living,
time
man.
that we're reaching completion energy.
Probably should. Probably should.
Is
I
my
don't want to
camera
cut it
on?
off because I love hanging out with.
I just finished, Jack. I thought maybe my camera was on. He said something about completion. So
Um, See, your mind, Paul. And here, that's what I was actually just saying is as much as I love hanging out and spending time with Paul, it's been a couple of hours. I do think maybe it's time to start wrapping it
I
up.
think we've reached climax and we've come to an end.
And we do
A
have a
happy end.
yeah.
All right.
Paul, anything you want to offer, or are you open to feedback?
Yeah, I think that I think that we all in this, if you want to call it panelverse, need to be honest with ourselves and take a step back at times and look at how the whole thing's become a dysfunctional addiction on many levels. And a lot of folks are out here living through false names and playing characters and not really being honest with themselves and others and trying to maintain some kind of facade. And to what end, right? At some point, you're going to have to look yourself in the mirror and take account for what you've done and not done, and or the world is going to run head on into your world, right? And give you a wake up call. That's usually how this thing goes. And that's okay, right? I'm not telling anybody what to do or not do because, again, I think the universe and pain is everybody's best teacher, if not reminder, right? Because a lot of this stuff, it's not really teaching, it's reminding us because we've chosen to forget, right? Because we have other things that we would rather do or take a preferential sort of priority, right? But yeah, I'm open to feedback. I mean, we're here. You are a self-proclaimed life coach, so what would this be without feedback?
I appreciate that. The lesson that's been toughest for me that I perceive might be possible with you, acceptance. One who's raised to be strong and fight, it's tough for us to develop that pattern of acceptance. But I've witnessed that in you, though, quite a bit, though, too, Paul. I've witnessed you just, I don't know how you do it, but you ground yourself or something. I can tell it seems to be by will.
Well, it's always this two
will.
worlds thing, right? Where I recognize I have a body and I have an impulse and I have a choice. And I also recognize I am not the body and I don't have to feed into the impulse because more often than not, it's a looping impulse that never actually comes to completion, as Jeffrey used the phrase a moment ago. So there's always that kind of, dualistic perspective, it would seem. So, sometimes I choose one, sometimes I choose the other. That's what I've been using the panel verse for more recently, rather than to give the feedback and be an active participant and say what I feel or what I'm seeing, is to just watch and observe and not say anything, not have to correct, not have to offer anything, not have to change whatever's going on because I'm in the room, right? Because I'm here. It's like, no, I can just be, I can just witness, and I can allow things to take their course because I don't always have to be in that activated mode, right? That's where the peace is found oftentimes, is the surrender space.
Yes. And that's what that was the one that I've been consciously and witnessing myself practicing, is surrender. Surrender to the present. Just accept what is. What do I know? What do I not know? Where am I? What do I want? And then reset and move forward as often as possible. But surrendering, especially in the face of painful information, right? You learn of someone's betrayal, you learn something didn't work out, you learn whatever.
Well, today I got the call that my buddy who I live with got arrested for the traveling, he actually has all the crap. He just didn't display it. And I don't know how it went down. I'm going to get the report, but they arrested him again without a warrant, non-arrestable offense. They did it anyway, so yeah, and it kind of made me go into that mode, right, of wanting to do something. And I'm sure when he gets back and we talk about it, I'll inform the FBI about this county and their corruption and put them on record. But the other side of it too is that dynamic of surrender for both of us, right? If you're going to do that and you're going to take that walk, then you almost have to expect and accept when you go to the box, right? That's part of the activism. So, yeah, man, that's the season, right? There's the gorilla season, and then there's the season of surrender. You know, they go hand in hand.
Yes, but here's I want to plant a seed of thought for you, though, please, because yes, knowing what you're doing, especially if you're doing things in defiance, you recognize there's going to be consequences, and you got to prepare yourself for the worst case consequences, and that might mean going to getting locked up. But the power of mind, the power of belief, right? Recognizing and preparing yourself internally for the worst, but keeping that mind focused on the desired result, which is traveling freely, uninterrupted, unharassed, right? Just living a life.
License.
What's that?
I said, just get a driver's license.
Well, I get the principle. I do. I truly do. And but I have also learned truly that what we fear, we will face. And even though we think we can accept it, we know it's going to be unpleasant. So unpleasant is what we'll find.
Yeah, I would ask Jeff, when does that attitude end, right? Because if you search yourself for where that attitude emanates from, there's no denying that it's fear or cowardice. Especially
Which
when it
attitude
comes.
you talking about? You trying to do your work on me?
No, I'm just saying that I know myself, so I think that I know other selves, right? And for all of us who just say, well, just do that because the servants told you they're going to tell you how to live, it comes from the fear of what's going to happen if we don't.
If you took it that way, that's not what I was. I was just saying something very practical. Like if you want to travel,
Right, but I'm saying if I want to go to the store, should I cover my breathing holes and take 11 shots because they told me that I should or I'm going to be punished?
I wasn't talking about any of that.
I'm just bringing up the idea that I think it all goes together, right? It starts with the freedom to speak, and then they tell you on YouTube you're not going to use the English language anymore. They're going to shut you down and take your cash. It starts with the freedom to move till they tell you, well, just register your property as state property and pay us to use it and get a license to move your private property. And we're slowly but surely destroying what this nation stood for, which was a caring, free populace who was able to do what they wanted to do, absent of loss, injury, and harm, right? And it's gotten so bad over the last 5 years that we now have 85% of the population who's probably going to experience health problems because of improper medical advice, right? While they slandered me and struck my channel and told me that I shouldn't talk about
This
it.
is a victimhood mentality.
It's not
much more
victimhood.
empowering.
It's victorhood mentality that I'm recognizing a problem, and the problem has been created by how we've all been thinking and acting. So I'm attempting to inspire myself and others to do something different and bring a solution, right? The victim would be the one who just keeps doing what the oppressor keeps telling them to do, regardless of how it ends up.
Well,
I don't feel oppressed. That's victimhood right there to me.
Right, just because you don't feel something doesn't mean that it's not real, because we have a habit of ignoring reality in order to cope, right?
I think I'm pretty good at reality. I'll put mine against anyone's any day. I don't think reality is my issue.
Okay, so just because you don't, real quick, Jack, if we could just take this back and forth, and then I'll let it rest at some point, because I'm not going to argue about it. Just because you don't feel something doesn't mean 80% of the world doesn't feel that on some level. It's very sort of selfish to say, well, I don't feel something, so nobody else feels it either, right? That's not reality. There are many people in this world.
Around what I'm feeling and
there are many people in this world who don't feel as free as they could feel and are being told what to do day to day by people who are not only incompetent, they're corrupt.
And they might discover that they do have more power than they realize.
I have realized I have more. You're talking about me. I realized I have more power than I realized I thought I would at one point, and my results at court and results with others at court has proved that. So why would I stop this walk when I thought I would wind up in prison, and after 6 cases in 5 years have gotten dismissals on all of them and dozens with other people? Why would I stop that?
I'm not saying. I'm not telling you to stop the walk. In fact, I'm very inspired by your walk. I was going to try to get feedback from you because I'm trying to do the care thing too and become more caring. And I was wondering what you find that works, because you do seem a lot calmer and more like easier to connect to.
Sure. Again, we can go back to the statement I made earlier to meet in the middle ground, right? You can't have true care without true freedom. You can't have true freedom without true care. And I don't think you or anyone else could argue that we are not as free as we once were on America, and we're getting less and less free over time
I feel
because of the
free.
attitude of just do what they say or else.
So I could argue, because I don't feel like my freedom's being hindered or hampered in any significant way.
Well,
I don't have a
here,
problem getting a
there's
license to drive. It doesn't make
You
me
don't have
feel
a
less
problem to
free
pay to
getting a
use your
license.
house and your
Here's-
land either, and your body and
Yeah, none of
everything
that
else,
makes
right?
me feel
Everything is
less.
taxed, everything's registered. You're paying to use all your own private property. That is abhorrent on the land we call America, the home of the
I'd
brave
like
and the free. Go ahead, Jack.
I'd like to jump in here, please, because each of us is on a different life path, right? A problem to one may not be a problem to another, and awareness of a problem, right? Awareness of solutions. Each of us do have our blind spots, and what Paul is trying to express, what Paul is expressing, it really is a fundamental issue for every man and woman in America, in Canada, probably the free world, right? This idea of authority and regulation and licensing, it's offered to us under the idea of convenience, just like the money system. We buy into it for convenience without actually thinking about what is going on. I myself, by the time I started waking up, my driver's license is still valid, right? My license and registration, or my car registration, well, it hasn't been a priority for me for a while. But I've been unharassed, luckily, and unchecked for the most part. But I realize every one of us, we're all in this together. And if we can start listening to each other about what's working, what's going on, when we find the solutions and we're working towards the solutions, there's no victim.
I agree with that. That's what democracy is based on. The ability to do that.
The
Have those
reality
conversations
is
about the problems.
the reality is the vanguard or the promoters of this last 5 years, I won't be too specific for channel purposes, are the same people leading brigades of folks to spray the skies down and put poison in the food and the water and all the rest of it. At some point, you're going to have to recognize the reality that we're all
But
facing, and you're going to have to do
even
your
if that's
part.
true, I grant you everything you say. Even if that's true, it doesn't take away my own ability to do what I want in my life. I don't feel disempowered because of it. I don't feel like it's stopping me from doing anything that I want to do right now.
I'm not claiming that anybody has to feel one way or the other, right? But again, you refusing to acknowledge reality doesn't change reality.
Your
That you're not
reality.
no, the reality that we occupy, that
You
you're
don't get
not
to
free
just
to go
come
get
and
a piece
dictate
of
what
land.
reality is.
You're
That's not
not
what
free to go
democracy
get a
is either. And
piece
I'm
of
saying,
land.
even if I grant your reality, even if I acknowledge it,
It's
yes,
not
Paul,
my
everything you're saying
reality.
is true. It doesn't stop me from doing anything. I still feel free even within your reality.
Again, it's not
I don't
my
see
reality,
where
it's
the
the reality, and you feeling free in the reality does
Well, I'm
not
actually
negate the
free.
consequence.
I can get in my car right now and drive wherever I want to go.
Because you paid to you
free.
paid the state to use it. The reason you can sit in your house is because you paid the state to use it. The reason that you can use your body while following thousands of other codes, whether you're aware of them or not, is because you paid the state to use it. So just because
I
you
feel I
won't,
can do anything. I can execute my will. That's freedom. I can pursue my happiness. No government official is going to come bust my door down and say, "Hey, you can't do that thing you're about to try to do." So this is in your imagination. That's
right,
what
but so you're denying the reality of millions of other people across the world who have gotten knocks on their
If you
doors
like,
and
I'm
have.
denying their subjective reality.
I
and they're
know,
free to do
because
that
you're
in my
very
mind,
selfish
I'm
in
only
that way.
interested
You're
in the
not
fair
interested in the journey of all the other people in this reality who have experienced exactly what you say doesn't exist.
Paul,
And
it's shelter.
for the third or fourth time, I'm granting you, for the purpose of discussion, your reality. So we don't even have to argue whether you're right or not. I'm agreeing that you're right, and I still don't feel a diminishment of my freedom.
I didn't
So your
ask you to
claim is
feel
that
anything.
this is reality, therefore you have less power. And I'm saying, even if that is reality, no, I
That's
don't
not
feel
my
like I have less
premise.
power.
That's
I
not
use
my
it all the time.
premise. If Jack, if I could just respond to him, my premise is not that. You're straw manning. My premise
Okay, then
is we're met with a whole bunch of challenges in this generation, so we have more responsibility to do and be more to solve that problem. It is a state of empowerment. It is not a state of disempowerment. Your ignorance of the problem and willingness to create
No, I feel
solutions,
like I am doing my
you
part,
can't
so
keep
I don't have
interrupting me
any. I don't have any.
and want to have the back and forth.
Then
So
I'm
your
doing my part.
ignorance of the reality and refusal to try to do something to solve the
Okay, well,
problem
this we're
is
looping now because I've
you're
already
interrupting
granted
me
you
again
reality
because
this the sixth
subconsciously
time
you
now,
don't
so you
like the
keep on
truth
ignoring
and you
it, and
don't
I'll
want to
always say
accept
I
it.
agree with it.
I didn't
Please.
interrupt you.
There's been some repeating though, and I think that might be.
You're losing your calmness too.
It's
Well,
not about you being the police of my emotion and saying because I'm passionate or inspired about this,
Well, I'm just
I've
making an
lost my
observation. I
calm.
didn't police
You're
you. I didn't tell you to have
interrupting me.
a
That's
so
more
quit
gaslighting.
mischaracterizing what I'm
You're
doing. I'm
interrupting me
not
and then telling me
policing
I'm
you,
not
Paul. I'm
calm.
observing that your
guys,
calmness has
please,
changed. That's all I'm
Because you're
doing.
talking over me and you're trying to incite
Well, I
me.
get
If you would let
you
me
talk over
speak
people
freely
all
as
the
I'm
time.
letting you speak freely, we could maintain a calm interaction, but you won't allow that right now.
Well,
it's
you're doing
being
it too, so don't
enabled.
put it all on me.
Oh,
This is a
yes,
mutual
we're
conversation. That's what
we're.
communication is. So
I'm
quit playing your
seeing.
games on me and have
Please,
an open,
Jeff.
honest
Jeff,
conversation, or
please,
don't try to have
Jeff.
one. I'm gonna go pee and I'll be right back.
Holy cows! Thank you, Jeff.
This is always the constant trope, right? Is these folks
Well,
start off civil, they interrupt, they project,
Paul,
and then when you finally start to get a bit excited or passionate or caring or animated, they point at how you're acting so they can deflect from what the subject of the topic of the conversation was. That's the game. So I'm not playing a game. You are, and you're projecting onto me.
and that's exactly what I've faced as well. So what I've been practicing is trying to disengage. What I think, I mean, what it could be, Paul, I don't know what Jeff does or doesn't know, okay, as far as the government and stuff. But what I think it comes back to perhaps is the care with detachment. You care deeply about the injustice you see. You've experienced it firsthand. It's happened to people you care about. That's completely understandable. But I wonder, because there's I don't know Jeff well, and I don't know you as well either, Paul. I don't claim to be that, but I've witnessed people that are more detached than I am, right? And it's something I've been trying to figure out because that's been my problem. I'm sensitive and I have these ideas and expectations of what should be happening. There's something magical happening, Paul. We are a part of something that the world doesn't know about yet, but I have a feeling we're a part of something pretty amazing. And it
Right.
has
So again, I never had expectations for Jeff or anybody else about what they should or shouldn't be doing. Right. That became the projection. Right. I just said that it seems obvious to me, and just like Florida has now created legislation to make geoengineering a felony, it wasn't real. It didn't matter. Nobody cared until now it's going to be made official, right? And legitimized. And that's how a lot of the statist world works, is that people will ignore the reality and the consequences of that reality until their officials finally tell them it's okay to accept the reality a lot of us have been talking about for the longest time, right? So it's not about what Jeff knows or doesn't know. It's about what he's willing to look at and accept and understand versus what he's willing to
I
shut
don't know
out
what's
and not.
about me at all. Like your life is about me at all. It shouldn't be.
Okay, so I'm going to stop engaging because you're not capable. While you speak very highfalutin words and terms and act like you're in control of yourself, and willing to be civil and have the back and forth. You're not able to let me speak my perspective without getting animated and then projecting onto me and
Well, first of all,
interrupting
me
me.
and Jack are you're hijacking our show because we're here to
There we
talk
go.
about stuff.
I believe Jack invited me to come up and talk
had
about
way
the
more
issues,
time
right?
than
So
anybody else. The
Please,
conversation has
Jeff,
ranged far beyond what we're here to talk about. So you're
please,
not respecting what Jack and I are here to do that we
okay,
clearly laid
there's the
out.
power game.
please,
I'm
hold
gonna.
on, hold
So why
on.
don't you take responsibility
Actually,
and accountability for that and let
tell you
Jack and I
what,
continue
This
with
was
our
the guy
show?
telling me not to be a
hold on.
victim before, right? He's
Okay,
hijacked now.
Jack, I will talk
Tell
off
you
stream.
what,
I'm going to end. I have my own stream to start. This
great,
is not our agreement.
great, Jeff. Here, you win.
It's not a
Tell you
power
what,
battle
Jeff,
thing.
great, you win. Let's
I'm
end
not.
it.
It's not a
Let's
win
end
thing.
the
Did we
stream.
not agree? Did we not agree? And you even said it at the beginning of the show what the
Mm-hmm,
format was going to be. So
mm-hmm,
I was trying to get us back on our agreement, and I'm
mm-hmm.
being vilified as being in some kind of battle with
No,
you that I either win or lose. I don't accept that, Jack.
okay, Jeff. How about this? Please
I was trying to
recognize.
keep the integrity of the show intact
Mhm.
that you and I agreed on as part of our collaboration.
I saw that, Jeff. So can I please explain? Another thing I saw happen is when Fatty showed up and the show just took over. Jack, fuck it, I put myself in the back because I wasn't a part of any
Oh, well, you
conversations.
didn't communicate any of that because I didn't know
I
that was going
tried.
on.
I tried
I
multiple
I
times.
didn't get anything from you at all.
I know, Jeff, because you
I didn't
get
know there was anything wrong. I thought Fatty and I were fine. So I'm hearing this for the first time.
I couldn't get a word in. That's
Well,
why
then
I
you
put
could type,
myself in the
private
back.
message, any of that is communication.
Okay, but Jeff, and so here, Paul is a part of my experience. I do have a bond and a respect and a closeness to him. Okay. You two, Paul has a pattern and an energy to him. People get reactive. Part of it is him, and he'll engage in the reaction, but he'll call it out too. He's rough around the edges, and you know what?
Me too.
We are too,
Yeah.
right? And I know there's no love lost.
I don't have a problem with Paul at all.
I know, but you did react. I saw reactions.
Well, we all reacted, I think. You and I reacted, Paul reacted. It's okay to be honest and have those reactions and just sit with them. I don't think they have to mean anything.
No, but when these things happen, someone has to disengage. And I've been trying to intervene, and I'm just getting ignored. And I'm like, okay, this is another day.
Well, I even got up and went to the restroom for a while. So I stepped away and I tried to redirect the stream back to what it was supposed to be. So those were my attempts to re-engage in a different way. Because I know Paul has a tendency to show up on panels and kind of make them the Paul show.
He can. He's got a strong energy to him.
But this is the Jack and Jeff show.
I think part of it too is maybe I have a little more experience communicating with Paul, and maybe I know when to back off a little bit more.
That's a vibe thing. I don't read vibe. I use verbal communication, and that's pretty much how I navigate. So if I'm supposed to sense and then know when to I don't have that. And I've been very clear about that on my streams.
We're learning. And you know what, Jeff, you and I are learning how to communicate, how to work together. But I do want this to succeed, this idea of you and I, because I know when people want some support and guidance, they're certainly going to benefit from what's available. And I did invite Paul on as a peer more so than kind of like Fatty was and some of the others, right? Friendly faces. But in the future, I do hope that people will recognize that this is a place we can be sincere and truly care about helping people.
Yeah, I think so. And I think this is I think it was good today. I think that this is growing pains. So I think we are going to succeed. And I don't
I
think
do
this is an indication that we're not. I think it's an indication that we can have these kind of challenging conversations and still succeed.
I agree. Let's wrap it up. You want to offer anything final? We can just end it out. We don't even need to do
I'll probably
closing.
be starting a stream soon, maybe in the next 20 or 30 minutes, and then go for a few hours, and then that'll be it for me
Well,
tonight.
if you want, we can end your side on this or continue it. And if I can stream a little longer, forward it over, it's up to you. I don't, either way. Or I can just shut it down here. There's guests
what are
in the
you
back
feeling?
too. Well, there's guests in the back, and I'm willing to entertain.
You
With
want to
the
like do a
idea,
little panel, and I can go set up a stream, and then you can
yeah,
redirect if you want.
I'll redirect when you're ready.
Okay.
For those who want to continue that, it'll be an option over there. Sound good?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. And I'll go do that. And
Thank you, Jeff. I
all
appreciate
right.
you
Thanks, Jack.
sincerely.
We'll see you at the next one. Think of it. What's our topic? You said goals. Something
I
about
would
goals.
love to do something with goals and finding clarity in goals. Goals or purpose, something like that. Goals,
Okay.
purpose, and meaning. How about that?
All right, we'll come up with something. I got it.
Yes, we'll get it.
All
I'm
right.
going to drop you. If you want to end yours or keep it going, it's up to you. I'm going to drop
Oh
you.
yeah, I better end it.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you.